your time and you're gonna go home. As long as you ain't getting no write-ups. Now, if you're getting write-ups, you'll lose that game time and you'll just do all your time. But they just give it with no incentives for it. That's why I say there's no real. If you've been in the system, there's no real rehabilitation. You have to
That's what
actually you got to
that's
want to
always
change.
been the thing of mine. You gotta want to change,
Yeah,
but
and that
that's
was me.
always been. But the
That was me.
institutional, institutionalism is real,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's
and
very real.
you rotten in there. You just sitting there rotten low key,
You,
and it's infested. The prison system is not the ultimate way to reform people
nope.
at all.
Not the way they doing it. No.
Any suggestions? Any
Any
changes you believe should
on
be
what?
made
Oh yeah.
on?
Yeah. I just the main one, the game time. Yeah. People might not want to hear it, but yeah, the game time. If it was up to me, you're gonna do 100% of your time if you don't want to take no programs. But if you want to take some programs, we're gonna give you some game time. I'd keep it real with you, bro.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, bro. When I was in there, and that's just one dorm, right? Let me give you the layout for people who don't know, never been around there or whatever, right? The average prison, the average camp is what they like to call it, right? It's prison, but they call it camps, rehabilitation facilities, all that other stuff. The real, so to speak, prison is what you see in the movies, the jail cells. Florida only actually has one prison. It's called Florida State Prison, FSP, is in North Florida. All the other ones around are just camps. And even though they have jail cells, they call them that, right? In those prisons and camps, you got 85 guys. Well, let's just say the camps. You got 85 guys in one dorm, but now you got like seven or eight, maybe even 10 different dorms. And then you're gonna have like a whole, they like to call it like an annex. So in that annex or in another side of the prison, it's probably like five, 600. So it's, generally speaking, gonna be anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 inmates on the camp spread throughout. You ain't got no programs for them. You well, you got programs. You got programs. You don't have no incentive for them to take those programs, and then a large portion of them coming out within several years. Like people, they like to like stigmatize the violent crimes, but most people in prison are in there for petty stuff, burglaries and drug dealing. You get out 2, 3 years off of that. So what the hell have they done to change that type of mindset to see differently? They don't do nothing. And that's part of the system. They don't want you to think differently
It's a
because
never ending cycle.
yeah, they don't
It's
want you to think
America.
different. They don't want you to think differently because they that recidivism. They need you to come back because of the money that's to be made. Oh yeah. And the
And
meals,
we
it's
hear a
less than
lot.
$1. They feeding you on less than a
Mhm.
dollar. That's how cheap the food is in there. Dead serious. 3 meals a day, damn near less than $1 to feed your ass.
So you know, it's a never ending cycle. And these politicians, we always hear them talk about police reform. Kamala Harris, Donald Trump told us straight up, he gonna give police immunity to do whatever the fuck they want. And they always had immunity to do whatever the fuck they want. Like they always had it. But I believe this is going to give white police officers more incentive to want to do shit. So it's gonna get ready to go down. But I haven't heard Kamala say anything about police reform whatsoever, and that was a big selling point for Joe Biden, this George Floyd Act or whatnot. But have anyone ever heard any politicians, maybe locally, you may have, not here in Michigan, I haven't, but have you ever heard any presidents speak of prison reform, proper prison reform? Changing up the system in any way. Have anybody ever heard not just the president, but any candidate, presidential candidate, speak on prison reform? Vovo?
No, I've never heard of a presidential candidate mention prison reform. I don't think that that's high up on the list at all. Um, we got to
It would be
remember,
for us though.
huh?
If they actually brought it out, that would be for us. But
Well,
I'm just bringing that out for if anybody ever go talk to any politicians or go to any council meetings or whatever,
I mean,
Senate,
I
any
never think it
meetings,
will be
to
though.
bring that to the
But you know what, like it's meant to be a punishment. That's what it is. Like you know what I mean? It's it's meant to be a punishment. You ain't gonna live in you ain't gonna live in five star condition. That's what it is. You know that's your punishment.
Well, I
You
mean, like you said, more educational things, trades, giving just different skills. And Florida, don't have that. I'm pretty sure maybe Texas don't have it. Michigan do have a lot of programs in prison that a lot of people do take advantage of.
well, yeah. I mean, there's
Um,
all types of programs. There's always been programs in prison. It's gonna still be programs in prison, but I don't know how you can reform it any more than with like in my opinion, it's still a punishment. It's meant to be a punishment. Now, my friends, I'm a former criminal myself. You know what I mean? Like I used to be a criminal. I got friends that's criminal. You know what I mean? When you go there, everybody ain't a good guy that go to prison. Everybody ain't a good guy. It's a lot of bad people. I know bad people that's in prison. That's my friends. Like these niggas are murderers. Like I'm talking about my friend. Like they call me from prison, and all I can do is put some money on their books, and we crack some jokes. Like these my friends. I'm talking about robbers that then tie motherfuckers up, that are breaking your house and they do a real home invasion, like breaking your house while you're there and knock you in the head and take your money and tie you up, tie your family up. Like I got friends that's like that, and they deserve to be in prison. Like these are bad people. Like these my people. Like what I mean. And I'm keeping it real. So it's meant to be a punishment. Let's make sure. So that's why it'll never be prison reform will never be high on the list for any
well, I
presidential
mean,
candidate.
you could punish a person all you want, but shouldn't you want them to come out reformed so that they wouldn't come out to be criminals?
But like the brother said, you gotta want to reform. You know what I mean? I know, like I've been to jail. You know what I mean? Like it was good for me. You know what I mean? I'm glad I had that experience. Some people say, "Oh, that's crazy. You just said you sound crazy. This is the way you sound." No, that was a good experience for me. You know what I mean? It didn't take for me to have to go do no million years for me to reform myself. I said, oh no, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep coming back in here. You know what I mean? I had to get serious and figure out what I wanted to do with my life. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, some of my friends they just didn't let go. You know what I mean? So they end up catching big numbers. I'm talking about 17, 20 life, shit like that. So you know what I mean? It is what it is. But I wanted to reform. They from my experience being in there, if you got to reform yourself, they can offer all the programs in the world. They can show you how to be an astronaut, but if you don't get back out there and go back and hang with that same group and then be in that same neighborhood, you're gonna be right back in there. You just wasted that time learning how to be an astronaut.
Some people don't really have a choice but to go back to their neighborhoods. And I say the same thing about drug addicts. If you go to rehab and straighten yourself out there, some people don't have a choice but to go back to where they come from, though.
I mean, like
Right.
in my city, I don't have to live in my like I choose to live in the neighborhood I grew up in. But I don't gotta live in this neighborhood. I don't gotta live in this city. I mean, America's a big place. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to. You know what I mean? You do got a choice. If that's gonna land you back in jail, I wouldn't fuck with it. You might want to stay in jail then. If you know that neighborhood gonna get you back into your old ways, then you can't really complain. Then if you said I don't have a choice but to go back around these guys, then I mean, that's what it is. Some people gonna go to jail. That's just what it is. You one of them.
Duke had his hand up real quick, and then Jamal.
Well, there are some good points here, and I'm sorry, take that off. But yeah, the thing is, I think we look at the whole prison reforms and everything else. Private prisons stop that because there's no financial. you're taking away the financial incentive of getting people locked up and keeping them locked up. And also that George Floyd police thing. Once Joe Biden got in office, you didn't hear anything about that. It was just like, oh, we'll let Congress yada 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 yada, and it just faded away to the ether. Right? It faded away. And it felt like again, there's a reason why people just didn't go out and vote because it was like they're tired of being, you know, being pulled around in all this BS. And I sit there and I just listen to people who are just like, oh man, we should be doing this all. And I'm like, no, if it's not actual tangible stuff, but it doesn't all about the joy and the vibes. Screw the joy. Screw the vibes. I want tangibles. And the majority of people wanted tangibles. And that's why they stayed home this time. It wasn't that they fixed the vote or whatever. And there's all this. No. The majority of the reason why there's 20 million people less that came out this year, and the less people come because they are like the majority black folk and everything else. They stayed home because
Do
they
you
didn't get
have
any
the number
tangibles.
of do you have a number of American Negroes that didn't vote? I haven't seen that
Let me
number
just see
yet.
if I can find it. I'm
Okay.
on my phone right now. Let me just see. It's
Jamal,
too early, probably.
yeah,
Let's see.
Jamal, you could go ahead while Duke looking for that, or if anybody else could look for it real quick.
All right. Let me touch on some stuff real quick because Vovo and Duke pretty much hit it on their head. So let me say this: you're dealing with a guy that went to prison. I started getting locked up at 13, in and out of juvie. Well, hell, that was short. In and out of juvie for like a year and a half. Then I got charged as an adult, so I was in and out of jail. From 15 to 19, and then at 19, I did 3.5 years in Florida prison at a camp. I did a year and a half in jail and 2 years uh in prison. I actually was locked up in the same county in jail that George Zimmerman was in. Matter of fact, Sumner County. I was in there when that happened. Um, so first and foremost, and looking at Jumbotron, remember I talked about the Supreme Court right there. It says interpreting the law. The Supreme Court interprets the law and the Constitution while Congress makes laws. So what do we know about the Constitution? We know that slavery is still on the books. It's in the Constitution. It says it verbatim. It says slavery can be used as a form of punishment. Okay, so they still had slavery on their mind, and they knew. That's why we like to be talking about certain things and laws be a trick bag. That's one of them things that's a trick bag. The idea is still there. I tell people all the time, just because they change certain things don't mean the idea ain't there. And the idea of slavery is still exists. So going to the next part as far as like a reform, Vovo talked about it in Duke. No, they don't want that. That's why there's no incentives for it. They don't want that. That would, I would say this as far as the judicial system, that's one of the cornerstones of this country. I mean, look what it did to our people. In 1702, Virginia made the laws. Virginia is the one that started it all. Virginia made those race laws talking about the black man can't share in the wealth and all that. I know I ain't saying it verbatim, but Virginia did that. They used the law to outlaw us from competing with white boys and white girls. They used the law to keep us out of certain things. And hell, when we got out the plantation in certain spots, if I'm not mistaken, if we were homeless, our asses was going to the chain gang. Yeah, just for being homeless. And what they doing down today in some of these states, in the state I'm living in, they just passed it. You ain't allowed to I think you can't sleep outside or some stuff like that. I gotta look it up. But yeah, they just did some little homeless law here in Florida. They've been doing this stuff for centuries. That's why I say that Supreme Court, that's what we need for real. Because we could change all that. We could strike stuff down. Hell, we could take cases that the Supreme Court usually don't take, and we could say, shit, we gonna take it. What's up? We could start suing people and then looking at it from the Supreme Court. Hey, we're gonna take this law case. People be looking at what the hell? Fuck it. We're the Supreme Court. We could do that. But going back to what I was saying, yeah, they don't want reform, HBK. They do not want that. Florida, let me tell you something about Florida, right? Florida, okay, so you got Florida, let me say it, I'm gonna say it in order. It's Cali, Texas, Florida. In that order, those three states, and remember, Florida and Texas are sister states. Cali, Texas, and Florida have the three largest populations, or one of the three largest as far as states go. And then they have the three largest prison populations as well. Okay, so it's a it's a money grab for them to have inmates locked up. Cali, look how many people in Cali. Look how many people in Texas. Look how many people in Florida. And Texas has had some of the most heinous serial killers. Look at all the drugs coming by, and guess what? It's only 55% in the state of Texas. As long as I think it ain't no violent crime, you only got to do 55% of your time. They sending a message. You got all that crime, all them serial killers that come out of Texas, and you mean to tell me? Oh, and the matter of fact, too, look it up. Texas back in the 80s, I think it was the late 70s up into the mid 80s, they was letting inmates go even with murder. Look it up. Dead serious. This is a historical fact. They was letting inmates go who was even convicted of murder because their prisons were overflow. And then when they let them out, the motherfuckers went and committed more crimes, and they said, nope, never again. They pissed the regular citizens off. So people even now today have a even harder, the regular citizen has an even harder outlook on locking inmates up. So what does that do for those in power? Shit, if the regular citizens want us to lock their ass up, and we know we can make money from locking their ass up, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna lock their ass up. Switch to Joe Biden in the 90s with the crime bill. All this stuff goes hand in hand, man. They know, and they've been known for centuries. Go back to Virginia, 1702. They known for centuries that they could use the law to undermine us, to put our asses in jail and in prison, and to use our free labor to get this country built. And they can always say, well, shit, we ain't got to pay them. He an inmate. He was a property. That's what they call you, even down to today. When you go to jail, it says property of so and so county on your inmate uniform. It still says property on there. A lot of people don't know that. It literally says property.
It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
So America puts you in a position
Yep.
to have to want to do it for yourself instead
Yes.
of
It's
giving you the
psychological.
incentive to
Yeah.
want you to do it yourself.
It's
And
very
like I said,
psychological.
this is just a never ending cycle.
Yep.
And no genuine politician wants to do anything about that.
You know why? Because what they've done with the law, you got to think, right? It's a certain level of propaganda. Go back to when Hillary Clinton and all them was calling us monsters and all that back. Y'all remember that? I wasn't
Hmm?
really old enough for it, but I'm sure some
It's
people.
all documented.
Yeah. Um, when you start to stigmatize a certain corner of society, so for that corner, that would be convicted felons. Think about it. Look at all the laws that keep even me. I can't own a gun down to today. I ain't. I've been out of prison going on 10 years.
Hmm?
I ain't caught no serious charges since, like I said, since I was 19. I'm 32 years old. You talking, 13 years ago. I still can't own a gun.
They won't let you protect yourself,
Yeah.
but they just want you to remain a
Because
criminal.
they waiting on Jamal to go back to that criminal mindset where, and that's another thing too, where you was talking about like some people don't got a choice. I get it. You might not have known nothing before, but that's what that sit down in prison is for. That's what it's for. When you
Well,
come home, and if you ain't got nowhere to go, you got to go back to the hood. You got to understand, okay, I could live in the hood, but I'ma move
when
different.
you ultimately got your shit together though, and
Well, mentally.
well,
You
that's
don't
what
gotta
I'm
have
saying.
it.
Mental.
Yeah, mentally,
That's what I'm.
yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What I meant when
Mentally,
you
yes.
ultimately got your shit together
Yep. Yeah, mentally.
and became into adulthood. Did that trouble, besides the gun, did that trouble follow you in the workforce, school,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
or
Yeah, yeah,
anything?
yeah. Listen, I've lost or had several or couple of job opportunities that I got denied because, man, listen, let me tell you two ones right here, right? I'm a plumber, so I do plumbing work. Let me see. The first one, down here they got like these flood little devices that like will let you know if your like basement, your house flooding out. It's like a little sensor device. They was paying their guys like 35 an hour to install those. Simple stuff. So that's easy money. $35 an hour. Shit, I wish I could make 30. I don't even make that's 10 more dollars than I make right now. And that's simple stuff. I got enrolled in a little program, was going through their little orientation, and I guess their little HR department was still looking up my stuff and waiting on the results. Next thing you know, they was like, "Oh, you didn't pass, blase, blase." So I'm damn near thinking I'm about to be working for these people. Like they literally had me already ready set up for a direct um cash pay, direct deposit and all that stuff. Like that's how quick and easy they was ready to get me going, right? So I'm thinking, oh shit, I'm gonna be making 35 an hour. At that time I think I was probably making 20, 21 an hour. So that's like a $15 increase down there. Man, my record came back, bit me in the ass. Out of there. The moment that happened, they exited me out of their I mean, I couldn't even log back into their stuff no more.
Now,
Like
what you
that's how
having
fast
that
they pack you
hanging
up.
over? What you having that hanging over your head? Well, first thing is, can you get that expunged?
I probably can, but it's because I got violent crimes and they don't. It's harder to get those expunged versus like some petty stuff. Put it like
Yeah,
that. I got felonies. I got PBLs, which is punishable by life. That's
but
the
these were
original
all.
charge.
I was gonna say these were all juvenile things, but
N-
like you
nope.
said, punishable life.
No, it's not juvenile. No,
Okay,
it's adult. See, that's how they go. You
right. You
see.
were charged as an adult. Right,
Exactly. See,
right,
so that's
right.
the trick bag.
Shit.
Even though I
And
was young, I'm still considered an adult in the eyes of the law. If you get
mhm.
charged as an adult and you get convicted as an adult, you're now an adult. There's no more JDC for you.
And a lot of people face the pitfalls that you faced, more or less.
Oh,
And
trust me. I see it all the time in Florida. Bro, I knew in my exact situation I was in doing what I was doing during that same exact time, I knew a couple of the dudes that caught life sentences for robbing the taxi man. Yeah, dead serious. Or
I
robbing the pizza
roamed
van.
through Florida. Look, before I say this, I was saying that to say that these unfortunate incidents, when people ultimately, at least mentally, get themselves together and want to be an actual citizen of America, America prevents, and a lot of people could find their way. Some people could find their way. A lot of people get disheartened by that and go
Yep.
back to whatever actions they did
100%.
before. I
100%.
wish dude was up here because I'm kind of meant to say that I wanted to respond to a lot of things later. Um, but it's situations that get people back, even if they do have that mentality to want to change.
You
Some people get broken
I
after a
Oh
while,
yeah, listen.
especially if they got a family.
Listen, I got you. Watch. What helps that, and that's why I say them incentives for them programs, but they don't do that. What helps that, and that's what was helping me because I wanted to change, and I get to that part, but you have to educate yourself. When that was part of my life in my late teens, early 20s, where I was, they always tell you knowledge is power. That's when that hit me, and I was starting to understand it in my life. You have to educate yourself. And I don't care. There's many ways to educate yourself, even if it's religious. At that time I was reading my Bible, I was doing, but you have to be willing to educate yourself because once you start to educate yourself, you start to awaken. So it was during that time that I'm like, wait a minute, bro, this is a big old system. These people want you to think like that. These people want you to go out there because, okay, I'm gonna use your situation. Not your city, but what you stuck speaking about, like how some people don't got no choice but to go back to the hood. A guy get out of prison, he ain't got nothing. He go back to the hood, grandma house, his mama house, whoever. He ain't got nothing to his name, no job, no nothing. In his mind, he feel like he got to go out there and get it. This is where that street mentality kick in. He got to go out there and get it. He got to get it how he live. Listen, I talked to a dude from Liberty City, Miami, out there, and he was in there. He had did 10 years, all the way to the door, 10 flat. So he was getting ready to come home, and he told me. It's like, man, listen, if it get hard, da 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 da. He was a jack boy. I'm going to go hit a lick. He said this, and I'm looking at him like, bruh, you just did 10 years. You about to go home, and you got that on your mind that you still willing to go hit a lick. So that's what in my head. I'm like, bruh, and I talked to him, and he didn't care. Like he felt like, period, point blank. Yeah, I might go out there and try and change, but if things get hard, I'm gonna hit a lick. That's what he said. And I'm just like, those was one of the things that hit me. Like, you can't think like that at all. You can't think about snatching a purse if it get hard, robbing the bank if it get hard. No, your whole mind about the streets, about get it how you live, all that has to change. Period. You gotta say no. I'm good. The street life, that like for me, I tapped out. The street shit didn't work for me. It's like a bad businessman, right? If you keep making bad business deals, like you gotta realize maybe your business, the way you do business just ain't the right way to do business. And just after all the shit I had been through from 13, I got out of prison 22 going on 23. I was like, yeah, I don't want no more of this. I thought about it then. What if I'm 22 going on 32, which I'm 32 now, and I'm still in that same cycle? Bro, I was seeing dudes. Matter of fact, that's another thing. This is why I say you gotta want it, and it be examples right in your face. So I'm in prison, right? You're gonna do time with numerous dudes. Dudes old enough to be your dad, and depending on your age, dudes in there old enough to be your son. So I was young, so most of the dudes in there was old enough to be my dad, at least half of them, regardless of race or whatever that bullshit. Dude, dudes had been coming to prison since the 70s and 80s, bro. And this was the early 2010s, mid 2010s. Like, come on, bro. It was a dude in there with a J letter. And if you know, and like in prison, in Florida prison, they give you, the more times you come, they give you a letter after letter. So you're gonna start. I think you start off at zero, and then they'll start bumping you to A, B, all that. This man had a J letter. The man had been in there like 10, 11 different times just for petty stuff. I think he had. And that's another thing too. Domestic abuse, all that little stuff. So he just didn't care. And I mean, he was like, I think late 40s to 50s, and he had been to prison 11 times, bro. Like, it was one dude in there, he had been to prison since well, not since, but he had been coming to prison since the 70s. So he knew about Florida prison from back in the day when the inmates ran the yard. They used to hop on the white boy's head. White boys knew not to get out of line. There used to be money on the yard, bruh. They took money out of off the yard, like physical dollars, physical Andrew Jacksons, physical Abraham Lincolns, and all that other stuff. They took that off the yard, like in the late 90s. Like, he remember all that. Like, that's crazy. You don't need to be coming to prison that damn long, man. But
It's crazy,
he
but like
still
I
was
said,
coming.
the institutionalized mind is
Yeah,
real.
and that's
Then
why I say
again, that
you gotta
factor
want it.
of coming back
Yeah.
to,
Oh yeah,
you
and
know,
education, because I'm gonna tell you too, when you start to talk to them niggas, like, it's not to clown on them, but when you having conversations with a person, the type of conversation a person has and how they have conversations, it does say something about a person. It's not that you're judging them, but how you handle yourself does say something, you know. And if you
yeah,
handling if you speaking like a stupid nigga, niggas gonna look at you like a stupid nigga. Like, that's
yeah.
just what it is. Go ahead, dude.
It's a couple of more topics I want to get on because I do got to get back to Trump, and the key thing that I want to talk one of the key things I want to talk about is the actual educational system. So, Duke, I'm gonna get to you real quick. Chad, if you can, I need you to come up if you can, because I also want to speak about Florida too. So, Jamal, real quick, if you don't mind, where you at in Florida?
I'm right outside Orlando, pretty much Orlando area.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
because
right outside.
you not like in Tether City then, right?
Um, so I say this, right? I say this. It's a lot of immigrants, Florida. That's just what it is. It's a ton of immigrants. It's not what most people outside of Florida, especially our people, think when they think of tethers. I tell people this all the time. Most of what we know of the tethers, the melanated tethers, majority of them are in South Florida. I'm in Central Florida.
Yeah.
Most of them are in South
That
Florida.
Chad, if you available, come on up. Chad is in Miami. He's an American Negro, but he in Miami. And I don't know how the fuck he's doing that. But
Big,
because I
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
last year I went through Miami for throughout 6 months. I went through Miami. uh, West Palm Beach, Lakeview, Plant City, Orlando,
Hmm.
and was it Pompano Beach?
Yeah, that's South Florida. That's not too far from Miami. It's down there.
Yeah,
Yep.
all tethers. The only place I seen American Negroes was in Orlando,
Yep.
which was primarily touring, but they did have a big portion of American Negro communities out there. But that's pretty much everywhere else. I could count on my hand how many fucking American. I mean, how many. I ain't gonna call
Melanated,
them all tethers because it was a lot of them
melanated
was cool as
immigrants.
hell. But yeah,
Melanated
other
immigrants.
melanated people of color or whatever, you know. Um, and
Yeah.
they wasn't all bad, you know. Just
No, no,
talking to
no.
some of them, you could tell, like, you know, they got some, you know. I know how to smooth that out, but it's not as bad as I thought. But at the same time, they are a problem. How do you view them living in Florida?
I mean, okay, so personally, I don't have anything against them. You know, I get it. People try to live, and people, a lot of them at this point are born here. A lot of them. A lot
Hmm.
of them did. A lot of them are born here. Believe it or not, most of the ones you
Yeah.
meet are actually born here. But because they have, like, case in point, South Florida, because they have a larger concentration of them down there, it's easier for them to hold on to their culture down there in like South Florida. As you start to get out of there, you'll meet some that's born back on the islands and all that. But for the most part, a lot of the melanated immigrants, they're actually born here, but they are still able to retain their culture because it's Florida. And but they're mainly concentrated in South Florida. As you get out of South Florida, you get to Orlando, Tampa, Central Florida, and definitely North Florida. They're spread out thin. Their influence ain't heavy. Like when I ride through Orlando, it takes forever to see a Jamaican restaurant. And even then, it's never packed. It'd be little hole in the wall areas like a little shopping center, and then, oh, Jamaican restaurant. It's never packed. Their influence ain't heavy. Down south, down in South Florida, they have a lot of neighborhoods and stuff that's set up for them, so they have a bigger presence. Coming out of South Florida,
Hmm.
they're spread thin. They're there. You will see them. You'll see them in Orlando. You'll see them in Tampa, but they're spread thin. Our people, believe it or not, they're still in Miami and all that. But what's happened is that a whole culture exchange has happened. So a lot of them blend in. There was like this little time where our people used to like copy their accents and stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To, going back to that whole, oh, you listening to other people tell you that you ain't got no culture. So when our people sleep, they believe that mess and they start to hang out with the Jamaicans, with the Haitians, they start dating them, and then all of a sudden, they want to be part Jamaican, part Haitian with them little accents, and that become their whole friend group. So that's how that happens. But yeah.
Two seconds, Duke. Go ahead, Duke.
Well, yes. By the way, I got the results. I've looked at the numbers. I found it on like I didn't go Google, but I went on Bing, and I found some good results. It is said that yeah, I've left a link down there in the thing in the Discord stuff here. He said they threw a lot more. It was like the percentage of black votes was softer. They didn't give a number yet, but they have been, people saying they talked about it. Some say it's you know, Trump support was like 21% black people, which is not negligible. It was like, from I think it was Wisconsin and such.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, 8 and 10 black voters back Harris. So it's not really a huge thing. But the main thing people were is again Latino votes and white women. Those were the big things that carried for Trump. I mean, and the single women as well. But those are the ones that really carried Trump to victory. Black men, black women, still very blue. But yeah,
It
but the real
seems. It
issue is
seems
it's
as do it seem as if even if 100% of us voted for Kamala Harris, or let's just say 90% men and women total, that she would have still lost.
I don't think so. I think she would have basically, if she would have won, got more black voters, she would have probably won Wisconsin. She probably would have won Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. I don't think Florida because I think they just have a lot of tethers and
Florida
Cubans,
is a wrap.
Cubans
That's a
charges.
wrap.
Yeah, it's not. But I think she would have gotten probably Pennsylvania. Mostly because again, a lot of people in Pennsylvania did not want to show up. A lot of black people in Pennsylvania didn't show up. If she would have gotten Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, all those big battleground states would have been full Harris. She would
Michigan,
have won. It would.
the Biden administration fucked up in Michigan with them Middle Eastern people, them Arabs.
Oh yeah,
Like,
and then
yeah,
having Liz Cheney there, which and partner up with Cheney, which I'm like. Do they not remember 2000 and 2004 and now Cheney basically the neocons screwed up the entire Middle East. I'm like, they just screwed up Michigan. I saw that. I was like, she just killed off Michigan right there again. What are these Democrats? Why are they so? I would, if I was there, I wouldn't even have Liz Cheney. I wouldn't have Bill Clinton just spagging around, basically like saying how good it was when he blew up all those bombings and everything. It's like, no, what are you doing? I guarantee you, if you were there, or me or you or anyone else in this little call here, would have been a better political director for Kamala Harris, and
they
just would
tend
have
to
been
lock
like,
niggas up. They tend to lock niggas up.
oh yeah, I
I
would have been
got.
like, I would have not. Yeah, I would like forget the celebrity vote. Go for all the people in the stuff like that. Don't care
And I
about
think
crowd
she had
sizes.
came at us with these high profile doctors and lawyers and you know business people. You could have a celebrity or two, I guess, but it's like this overpouring of fucking celebrities on both sides was just fucking ridiculous. It's leading me to
Just
think that one day that celebrity eventually we gonna get celebrities at the running for president.
Malcolm X said
Eventually.
this, yeah, years ago. Why does he never listen to the people who tell the elders told us about this years ago, and no one cares. You heard the speech or you saw the clip about him. Like you have these puppets for white community, and you have like Lena Horne. She's like Lena Horne, Rick Gary, all this stuff. These are not leaders. These are not political. These are puppets set by the white community.
The only person I could see that actually walked the walk, is Dick Gregory.
Oh
And
yeah, he
if
this
y'all
was like he
notice,
did do it.
if y'all notice on my YouTube, my um, shit that I got up there is the book Nigger from is Dick Gregory autobiography. That's a really, really great read. It's his autobiography. It's just him telling this story. But it's as powerful to me as Malcolm X autobiography. So I urge y'all to check that out. And he actually
Yeah.
explained why he titled it Nigger. But just I'm gonna let y'all read that for yourself.
Oh yeah,
Go
and
ahead, Dick.
I think that's one of the main issues. But I think you can't have people who do okay, you can have a celebrity there, but it just seems like it's just they went overboard on it. And I think the one thing Trump did was the smart thing was not go on these like old talk shows. He went on the podcast circuit. He went on those popular podcasts, Joe Rogan. He went on Ian Ross's stream. He went on all this other stuff. And people make fun of me. Oh man, and why he don't like he's getting that young people vote. He's where the young people are. They're not watching anything these like MSNBCs or anything else. They're going on podcasts. They're looking at all this stuff here. And I think Trump is going to. I think that was the way. When I saw my Aiden Ross stream, I was like, Trump is going to. I like this guy's going to win. And I wouldn't be surprised he wins the popular vote. But no one's like they don't really get that. It's just it's is that there needs to be a paradigm shift. And I think that if anybody who wants to actually do something and actually want to actually build stuff is not just have tangibles and everything else, but actually change the dang thing and not go on these old type of stuff, man. And you know, be connected with where the people are. You go where the people are, and the people are not on MSNBC. They're not on Fox News. They're not on ABC or whatever. They're on these podcasts.
That's
on
what I
these
be telling my mama. My mama sit down and watch all those news things all goddamn day long. And I'm like, you come up to Twitter and you talk to real people. You discuss with the people. You see what the people concerns is. It's sickening watching all of these commentators up there give their opinions about certain shit. And they may have, been down here with us or whatnot, but it just don't come off authentic and it just sound like everybody just mumbling about shit when we actually having these conversations right here. And like I said, on another space, Kamala Harris talking to all these placed people. Come up here and talk to us. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump did it. I don't think he talked to the people, but I remember him and Elon Musk had a space a little while back. Talk to the people. Talk to us. Figure out what our concerns is. And that they never did that. They never did
hmm
that. We get all these placed people. We get all them gays. A lot of gays came out for Kamala Harris. I noticed that a lot of young black gay males, that too raw, too real cat, some other one that was autistic or something. They even got this little boy out. Noah was taken, flaunting him around. And I said he gonna disappear after the election, and more than likely he is completely. 12-year-old little boy. You know what I'm saying? And they flaunt you know, they have more incentives than American Negroes. For the Democrats, you got a lot of people that's gay first. You got a lot of people that's this first. You got a lot of people that's this first. You don't have nobody that's black first. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference.
Once you have black
I
first,
am
that
gonna
is
talk
going.
about that when I talk about delineation. I am gonna move on to delineation later, but I just want to throw that out there.
Yes, and I
A
think
lot
that
of people don't have a black first mind.
because a lot of we have been media is such important in this society because when you think of black people, if you look straight on the media, what do you see them as? You see them as criminals. You see them as you know just entertainers, as are athletes, not smart military people. There's tons of military people who are smart and generals and everything else about that. You don't see them like being as leaders. You see, when you see them as leaders, you see, oh, they're all corrupt and evil and everything else, or they can't run anything, even though there's plenty of places in Africa that actually are more competent and actually know what they do. They don't have a back and forth with the economy and everything else. They actually have a more sound economy and everything else, but we don't hear about that. We hear about the negativity. We hear about this or, oh, you're not this, that, you're this, that, and the other, but never the positive, never anything else. And that affects everyone, including black people. And they're saying, well, we're just evil, we're stupid, and once we get into power, we're incompetent or are corrupt, instantly corrupt, which is the most. That's how we have to change that mindset. And until we change that mindset, until we have a media that actually starts saying, okay, here's the real issues and here's the real truth about these places, about these people, about who they are and such. It doesn't matter who or what we are capable of. It doesn't matter. It means nothing until we have a real a positive image. A media actually shows a positive image and just like, hey, we are good. We are a positive people of our society and everything else. We are not instantly corruptible or incompetent. We are that sort of mindset, and it takes generations to fix that mindset because it took generations to put us in that mindset. That negative mindset is going to take a lot longer to get out. That's all I have to say about that. Anyone else want to talk up? Go ahead.
If anyone else don't have anything to say to that, I want to move on to the next subject. Um, Stand in line with Florida. Stand in line with educational. You know, Donald. Let's start with Florida. Ron DeSantis Um, Jamal, how familiar are you with the modern school curriculum in Florida?
I can't say I'm very up to date on it. Hell, I ain't. I dropped out in the seventh grade, bro. I ain't even care no more about that shit.
Are you
And
familiar with
I know they don't
the
teach cursive no more.
yeah? Are you familiar? Yeah, are you familiar with Ron DeSantis, your governor
The
specifically?
CRT stuff.
Yeah.
So what I know about that, I'll say this. Based off what I've read, a lot of people get CRT. Based off what I know, it looks like people get CRT mixed up with Black history in and of itself, and it doesn't seem like it's the exact same thing. Get what I'm saying? So you have
What
Black
the
history,
fuck is CRT? What is that? Critical race theory. What?
exactly, critical race theory. That's not Black history. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he banned that.
So they still have Black history.
I'm sure, and that's why I say I can't fully confirm. But like I said, he banned that. So I don't think he actually banned the history of whatever was
I
already about
remember them
Black
talking
people.
like they wanted to stop
That
talking
that's
about
why you have to fact.
Rosa
I'm gonna pull it
Parks
up. Hold
so
on, cause
much as Rosa Parks. You know what I'm
had
saying?
I had some a post I made with another guy because I was talking to him about it, but he ended up blocking me because he was in his feelings. But I pulled receipts based off what what I saw, and like I say, he banned CRT, and so some people might take that as
Well,
Black history.
let's wait a minute because I could take it as Black history because was there actually a subject in the curriculum labeled
I
CRT?
s- s- well, from what I know, CRT was taught on the college level already, and they teach it on the high school level when you're getting college credits. So it wasn't something that was taught on like the lower levels like that.
So
I
he
guess
was.
people wanted to get it out of there totally.
Mhm.
So
So when it in the aspect of Black history, and maybe you could ask around too and get back at me on that. When it comes down to the sense of Black history, how far are they going, and
well,
how
you
detailed are
already
they?
know they only gonna teach what the stuff that's already been in there about Black history. They're teaching that. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But they're not, they not gonna have you woke like us. No, no, but they already wasn't going to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I take my nephew who was in the sixth grade at the time, knew little about Martin Luther King, and we just talking about Martin Luther King. That's like the only thing that they teach in Black history now, right?
Right.
And that's crazy in itself. And he was, down there straight A student, so it ain't like he, didn't want to know what they offering them.
I'm a
Um,
I'm gonna
so
upload this in the chat, and then I'm gonna let y'all guys read it for yourselves. But it
uh,
kind of touches on what I was saying. Read it for you guys yourself,
you
so
can
y'all
put
could
it
get a
on the
real take on it.
put it on the jumbotron.
Yep, it's in there.
I've been navigating through four different things this whole time, so
Yeah,
I'm
it's in
kind
there.
of
It's in there.
got my
Yep.
hands in a bunch of pots right now. But um, um, so Trump, you know, kind of seem like he on the same mindset with Ron DeSantis when it come down to the educational system for America. And I think he said on Good Morning America, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of weeks ago, like if the public school system, and I think he said public school systems specifically, do not conform to what I request, then they will be fined every single time. Um, what do you think Trump plans is? Anybody? What do y'all think the Trump plans is when it come down to education? Um, period. At least in that aspect, Black history and critical race theory, whatever that is.
Well, as far as CRT, most white people in power ain't gonna be for it. Period.
Right.
CRT leads to white guilt. Who the hell wants to feel guilty? That's what that leads to. So
Well, Black history does as well.
yeah, but Black history, you're just gonna say, "Hey, this happened, this happened." See, CRT is more so, "Hey, these things happen, and y'all feel this type, y'all think like this, and y'all ain't never going to stop thinking like this." It's one of them. You're dealing with
That
history,
seems like some
whereas
shit white folk put on themselves. Then.
probably, I mean,
White
probably, like I
people
say,
don't
it's
control
always
these
been taught in the
curriculums.
college. It's always been taught on the college code. That's why look at that. What I put in jumbotron. It's not called Black History. That's why I say it's not Black History. It's called African American Studies course. So there's a certain part in that studies course that deals with CRT. That's why I say it's not specifically Black history. And that's what he's banning. He's banning
Mhm.
that specific type of course study.
Okay, and like I said, me not knowing what critical race theory actually is, I always kind of link that together. Black history and critical race theory. So I do got a little understanding on that. But do you think that maybe they could eventually reach over to Black history?
I mean, yeah. Remember, go back to what I was saying about the Supreme Court. They ask could do whatever. It's the law. They could do whatever. They could do whatever. They don't. The thing with Black history is they don't have to care. And there ain't too many people, if we're being real, that do actually care about Black history other than us. I mean, we just got to keep it real.
Well, like that Pecker Tom down there, that mentally untouchable cat. I'm gonna bring him up later. I'm waiting on Negro to get up here. But Chad, come on up here, Chad. You a Florida already, and I want your input on a couple of things. But it's Negroes like him. You know, he got that same kind of mentality. Also, I am gonna put this up on YouTube. It's gonna be long, so I'm gonna probably break them up in parts and shit. But I put up, I've been going in continuity with my message to the grassroots. Jamal, have you ever checked out my content? Jamal,
Hold on one moment. I was
I got
closing
you.
the door. What'd you say? Repeat that for me.
Have you ever checked out my content?
I have not, brother.
Check it out. And like I said, my theme is wrestling with racism. Is
You got a YouTube?
I'm in the wrestling. Yeah, yeah. You can see it on my LinkedIn. It's wrestling with,
Okay.
racism, but is viewing things through the lenses of professional wrestling because professional wrestling is my field.
Okay.
I used to be a wrestler. I used to be involved with the business heavily, not on the big scale, but on a nice, decent scale. In 2020, when all this shit happened, and I was able to sit down and just sit down. You know what I'm saying? And I
Right.
started talking to a lot of guys I used to work with and started seeing their views on shit, which they always low key had it, but I never paid attention to it. I started talking to people, just talking to people about a lot of different shit. And some explosive shit came up, and that's how I came up with wrestling with racism.
Right.
So a lot of my content is through wrestling. Plus, wrestling got a major integration problem right now. And they always have. And I'm kind of help wanting to break waves, and they are nowhere near that right now. But I'm also talking to us too. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about wrestling. Obviously, with this space right here, and you see what time it is when I go into your spaces or anyone else's. You already know what type of time I'm on. It's on all fronts. It's really on all fronts. It's on all fronts. And so, like, I got a series that I'm doing now, the message to the grassroots, which is reciting Malcolm words verbatim and some from Elijah Muhammad, some of his books, Message to the Black Man, and the Fall of America specifically right now. So I did speech. Actually, I did Malcolm last speech, the one the day after his house was burned down, the week before he was killed, and it went so long. I think it went an hour. That I'm gonna do a part 2 of this sometime this weekend, maybe. Um, this whole entire discussion. But just start listening to those speeches, and then you can see what direction I'm going. You
Okay.
can tell by the profile picture, and you can tell by certain things I might say. Yeah, that's the direction that we need to go, I believe. But I'm putting emphasis on a lot of things because it is a lost message, especially that revolutionary message. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is where I feel like we absolutely need to go. I mean, honestly, in modern times, that's the only thing that we haven't tried. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
revolution is it takes a lot, and it could definitely take a collective. It's one of them things where it could take some stuff that's already been pumping up, or it might take some stuff that's on the low level. But yeah.
yeah, a lot of things are gonna come out in due time. I'm trying to keep everything in continuity. Um, I'm trying to figure out a better platform for us to speak on too. You know what I'm
They
saying?
never I don't think there probably ever will be one, if I'm being real with you, unless we control it. But
Well, we're
and I
gonna
mean
figure that out
control
in due time itself.
yeah,
You
I
know
mean
what I'm saying?
control the data of it and all that. Because at the end of the day, when you're dealing with electronics and data, a lot of that stuff can always be, brought up, listened to. Yeah.
Not to mention your Toms, your Coons,
Mhm. Oh yeah.
people who eventually turn into it. But
Always. There's always that.
yeah. But let's get the message out first. So you could go check those out. I did put in the playlist the grassroots specifically. So even if you don't want to hear the wrestling part, that's why I always try to start out with the speech, just to knock that out the way, and then I'll give a little commentary on that, and then but you already know what time it is with you. You'll be catch on. Not to mention you probably heard these speeches before, and you
Okay.
understand. You know what I'm saying? But show your brother some love.
Okay.
uh, Chad, man, what's up?
What's good? Y'all can hear me? I just got this new mic.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, y'all don't
Yeah,
get
you
no
good?
y'all ain't getting no background, are you?
You good?
All right,
You
cool,
good.
cool, 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 cool. Damn, I've been over here wrestling with this damn mic for about a whole fucking hour, man.
Well, I hope you heard all the shit that we was talking about, so I ain't necessarily got to repeat myself.
Yeah,
Certain
bits and
questions.
pieces, but I my dumb ass didn't realize that there was a headphone jack in the mic I had to plug in. But all right, I'm good now.
But
So,
some of these are things that we already discussed. But me and Jamal was talking about Florida specifically because he's from Florida and you're from Miami,
okay.
and you are an American Negro. You know,
Yep, yep.
you live around these tellers. You want to give your experiences.
Oh man, shit. Where should I start? High school. Dude, it was like damn near Jim Crow. Like if you were the one foundational Black American within a Haitian high school, I didn't realize it at the time, the vitriol, jealousy, and hatred that I was getting from these Caribbeans. But looking back at it now, yeah, they call you all types of coons. Yeah, they literally would call me a coon. The
Mm.
one that didn't flee from their country. But they'll call you cicadas and all types of shit. And I was on the football team, dude. What I had to go through in that football team was insane. But when I graduated, I was the only one that was offered a scholarship. So there's that. But yeah, it's a lot of it's not a lot of FBAs in Miami. Most of them have fled up north. Most of them have on the Panhandle. They probably up in Georgia some damn where, Millersville and outside of Atlanta and stuff like that. But yeah, it's slowly but surely turning into a refugee hive, and it's becoming almost unlivable because you can just see what's going on around here. I mean, we don't even have to start on the Cuban community. Uh, that's a whole that's too far gone at this point because these people literally walking around here think that they're white, and as far as DeSantis is concerned, they are because those are the main people that put him in office twice. So that's what we're dealing with in Florida right now, man.
So, um, I did want to bring this up real quick. I forgot, and then I'm gonna get back on the educational tip. Um, when I went to Miami, when I was in Miami specifically, I mean, I don't know how people make it down there. Like I said, one bedroom, nothing. The house looked like the house off the original Friday.
Oh yeah.
and with one bedroom, no, it's like $2,500 or some shit. Raggedy, raggedy as hell. 2,500 or more. When I
Mhm.
went to West Palm, and I literally, I was on tour down there doing something. And but I literally stayed around the corner from Mar-a-Lago. I rode down there a couple of times. Um, I was in this huge apartment. The bathroom was bigger than anything. The bedroom was bigger than anything. The closet was bigger than my bedroom now, and I got a big ass bedroom.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, it was like 3,500 a month.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Malcolm was talking about in the speech that I did earlier. You could live in the slums and pay these landlords this very high rent. But you go to these white communities and even the suburbs out here, you know, the suburbs is a lot of places is cheaper than in the city of Detroit, and certain areas in Detroit is the slums.
Hmm.
Not so much as it used to be, like the media will, or like Donald Trump will tell you, not so much as it used to be, but it is. And like these grocery stores, we got local grocery stores that got junk food, you know, damn near old. You know what I'm saying? At
Right.
higher prices than the WalMarts and Myers and Kroger's and shit that's outside, just right outside of Detroit. You could get there. You know what I'm saying? But much cheaper. I just went to Subway out in a little suburb. I was on the app, doing my thing, and I was deciding whether I was going to go to the Subway here in Detroit or go out to the burbs where I was going to. And I looked at both prices, and it was a $2 difference in my order. You know what I'm saying? Gas is much cheaper in the suburbs than it is in the city of Detroit. In the city of Detroit, they serve, and Black Ninja know this. Black Ninja is my coworker. This is my friend. Um, in the city of Detroit, they got junk food. They got king size candy, two for $1. Two for $1 for a king size. Expired 2022 or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
God damn.
Yeah. And you go out to the suburbs, their gas stations and shit, they got fresh fruit, fresh milk, fresh this, fresh that, fresh sandwiches and shit. They got old chips and shit here. Master P chips. That's probably been sitting there since 2006. Cause I ain't never seen nobody buy the shit, you know. So that's, you know, going back to that's what the speech that I read off was in 1965, and it appears in certain cities that these things still happen to this day.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump said that he wanted to make America great again. What time is he talking about? Because America was never great for the 13% that they claim that we are. As overall, we could find individual success, but as a people, America won't let it happen. So, with you being in Miami, and you 36, right?
That's correct.
We the same age. How familiar are you with the current educational system in Miami or Florida overall?
In Miami, it's gotten better as far as you know, educational wise per student. We don't see that many F&D schools like we did when I was in high school. So far as that's concerned, that's a little bit better. I look at people like my nephews and some of my girls' children. Their schools are clean. However, I do see a little bit. I'm just go ahead and say it. It look like they damn near raising straight pepper times up in there, bro.
Hmm.
The culture up in there, like it's a lot of dumb shit going on in there. If you go to a good school, it's gonna be probably 10% black, 40% Latino, and about 50% white. So the entire culture is gonna be, the cool white kid type culture going on. And it's like the racism that we was going through. was a little bit more kept in the closet. We literally have people out here inside these white groups and within the school calling their, they
Florida
black
is open.
friend. Say it
Florida is
again.
open.
Yeah,
No, Florida is open.
yeah, yeah. Like they're calling them out their name. They calling them blackie, darky, all this type of shit. What the fuck you think you is?
You know, despite how y'all see me handle white folk online, yeah, like I said, in person is completely different.
Yeah,
Uh, not buck breaking and none of that different shit. But you know, cordial, and if they cordial with me, I'm cordial with them,
yeah,
right? Um, but when I was in Florida, you know, and getting cool with these people and talking to these people, they would say some outrageous shit, thinking that we just cool.
yes,
You know what I'm saying?
yes,
And
bro.
try to pass it off as a joke or try to pass it off of, oh, they didn't know this would be offensive, you know. And that's where I'm at with my conversations with white folk. Even if you say something off the rip, I gotta correct you. I can't
Yeah,
help it. I gotta correct you.
because it's gonna keep on happening over and over. Literally, that we. You get a good sense of who you talking to within the first couple of sentences, bro, and then that slick shit comes out just to see, if they can really poke your buttons real quick to get a reaction out of you. That's usually what it is.
Yeah, and I tell them what time it is, and they tend to get tears and shit. Like,
Oh
so
yeah,
it kind of make me wonder, like, damn, is y'all motherfuckers really this goddamn naive,
no,
or
absolutely
they
not.
playing that role? Because they
Yeah,
will pull out them goddamn tears.
yeah. Two things white people will pull out, and especially in Florida. My experiences in Florida, they'll pull out tears and then they'll pull out the gun,
Mm-hmm.
and not specifically in their order. You said something very interesting a few minutes ago. You said, you're different from online and when you meet in person. I completely understand where you're coming from because us as men, we get into a battle of words with a white man. It's a high chance that he's gonna pull a gun out on you. A
Well,
white
it's a
woman,
high
all she got to
chance
do is
here
cry.
as
That's
well
it.
that I would do the same. But you
Yes,
know,
sir.
it never got to that point.
Mm. It could get to that point real quick in Florida, especially out west where people own these big ass lands and they got the little stop signs with the horses on it. That's danger. That's the danger zone after daylight saving. Yeah, around 6 o'clock, you don't want to be around there because you'll literally run up on a millionaire that got a cowboy hat on with a rifle on his back, horseback.
So Trump is in office, and you out there in Florida. How was it for you during his first 4 years?
Honestly, I was great. I had no hardships. I was literally going job to job at my own accord. I had no problems with work at all.
Did you find problems before and after?
Before, definitely, I was still a little young and dumb around the Obama years,
Mm-hmm.
but I would say I really got into my craft as a man around 2016, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Because my father he had a military background. He pretty much just pushed me into the water and said, "It's time, nigga. All that other shit is over with. You
You
got
know I
time
gotta
for your
roast you real
guns."
quick. You
Go
know I
ahead.
gotta roast you real quick.
Go ahead.
Not to mention he old as fuck, and he my grandma age, and she just turned what 76 the other day. So I'm just
That's my
saying.
father's age.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Spry as fuck.
So I know your ass felt it.
Yeah, nigga. Yeah.
um, but that's good though. That's great though. Um. So the people. Let's talk about the people though in Florida.
Okay.
During Trump. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Did you face hardship after during the Biden administration as far as work?
You goddamn right I did. Some
Okay,
of it a
so
little bit. Some of it was my fault because I did some dumb shit when I was young that came to bite me back in my ass. But On the other side, that dumb shit was still fucking with me when Trump was in office, but I had work all the time. And
So
some
did you
people,
have uh a felony?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I wish you was up here earlier. How old were you when you caught that?
I think around like 26, 27. I
It
was
was fairly recent.
fairly recent. Yeah. I'm
Okay.
just now, I'm just now able to, because it's, in Florida, I don't know how it is abroad, but in Florida, usually after 7 years, it don't really affect you, as long as you keeping your nose straight to the T of making a court date, or like you literally have to be a law-abiding citizen within those 7 years, and then they just look past it, as long as you're honest about it. And that's what I'm figuring out now, because I'm getting job offers. I'm in school for my CDLs. Already getting job offers. Like they literally calling me like, "When you gonna be done, nigga? We we need you out here. We got work." So you know,
Did you hear what Jamal just said though?
what was that? When he
When
when he was
he
speaking on
said
the
that he
education?
was when he was going through his training for plumbing, he made it through the class and they kind of rejected him right before getting him to work.
Oh my God, why though? I
He got a
think I know
felony. He
why.
was charged as an adult throughout his teenage years.
Mm,
Um, and had a couple other different things after that, but it kind of held him up in different areas to progress. Not saying that he's doing bad, but he could be doing better
okay,
if he didn't have that over him.
okay. Is Jamal still here?
He dipped out for a minute. I'm sure he'll be back.
Did he by chance elaborate on what was going on as far as the charges and stuff like that?
He did. It was more of a home invasion, and then he had a couple of violent things coming up. But these was all very young, uh, from before 20,
Okay, I think I
maybe
know why
18.
they rejected him. What I've noticed, because since the pandemic, I'm not exaggerating. I probably have turned in mm, close to 350, north of 350 applications in multiple companies around the entire country.
God damn.
So it's not that hard. Pause. So I've what I've discovered is, like, according to what charge you get, there's certain entities that's just gonna say hell no. I applied for a lot of customer service, a lot of IT, a lot of cybersecurity, and the one thing that all of that has in common is that I'm gonna have to at some point be handling sensitive information from other people. Needless to say, my charges was in credit card theft and credit card fraud. Even though I could get into the legalities and all that, I wasn't the only one. I was at the time, I was working for Comcast, and my manager was the one who literally went into the customer's bedroom, duplicated all of her shit while I was doing the install, and my assistant manager was the one that was basically distracting her while I was doing all the work. So we all got pulled in. I'm the only one that was able to stay because those two got deported, two Cubans.
Mm.
So the whole
Uh,
company got shut the fuck down. But needless to say, because of the natures of those crimes, it disqualified me from getting those jobs. Any other job where I'm not handling sensitive information, they call back.
got you.
So him going
Because
for
you did
plumbing,
say
just to
that he
close
did
real
say
quick.
more of
Go ahead.
those violent type crimes are the ones that generally get rejected the most. So yours is more white collar, right?
Mine's is more white collar, but like, look at the nature of the crime though. See, they already know this dude has a niche for defrauding people. On
Hmm.
Jamal's case, they're saying that he ran up at somebody's house. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is, but that's what the charges are. So if he's applying for something that he has to be in someone's house, they're gonna look at that.
Well, they got him on home invasion and I believe something else, but no one was in the house.
Mm,
You know,
nobody gonna be in the house when he's trying to fix them pipes.
right?
That's
Um,
that's how them people think.
throughout Trump first term, did white folk in Florida tend to have their chests more stuck out throughout that time? Have you noticed that?
The chest stuck out. No, I did not notice that.
They pretty much stayed the same before and after.
No, they were smiling like how they're smiling now. I just left Stone Grill down the street over there by Longhorn. It's completely filled with white people. They are smiling like the
No,
goddamn
no.
cat.
What I mean was they bigotry and hate more visible to you from what you've observed throughout that time. Where they, I know that they're open, but did they seem more than usual at
No,
that
they
time?
weren't really brazen with it. They weren't really brazen with it. One or two things would somebody say some dumb shit, or you must not be around from here. Then I give them the look and start reaching, and everything else start, calming down. But nothing like, oh, what you doing in here, boy? Nothing extreme. Then again,
Mhm.
I'm a 6'4" black man that weighs 300 pounds, so it's,
Well, they will pull out their gun on your ass
yes,
too,
they will. But I'm also a good shot my damn self.
right?
I'm shooting from the hip. I'm hitting you in the chin.
Hmm.
So,
Police interaction down in Florida with the tethers specifically, or
mhm.
tethers, other melanated people, people of color, whatever you want to call them. Um, do they say face the same harassment or brutality or even deaths that American Negroes face specifically?
In Florida, I hate to admit this. In Florida, the white cops are not that bad.
Really?
They're not. As long as you're respectful to them, they're cool. It's
Because the
not.
motherfuckers in Florida can't drive for shit
That's a
nowhere.
fact. That's a fact.
That's crazy.
That's a fact, actually. That's why insurance is crazy down here. But but back to the tethers. Like I live in Miramar, which is about a couple of them, about 5 miles away from Miami, right in Broward County, and there's a lot of Jamaicans, there's a lot of Haitians, and the thing about that is they're all hiring their own in these police stations. Like it's like at least 50% Jamaican because I live in a Jamaican building. It's nothing but Jamaicans around here. So they have their own coming down here. There's more black cops than I've ever seen in my life. But the further you go out west, the further you go up north, that's when the sheriffs start kicking in. Then it really gets, you know, looking crazy. You got,
Hmm.
you got my man from Walking Dead walking around here.
Because
Those type of
technically
crackers.
you don't belong there, right?
They don't come out and say it, right?
No, but I'm
No, but you can feel it.
technically. Yeah,
Yeah, you can feel it. You can feel it.
yeah,
And then they just go to the unwritten rule: don't start no shit, won't be no shit. But you
right.
get that look. You definitely
Yeah.
do get that look.
Well, I got that in West Palm, and it was they had a little ghetto down there. That had whatever little Hispanics they got down there. I didn't necessarily feel it in that part, but when I was in that white section of West Palm, oh yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
there was
That's
a
proper.
Walgreens on the corner I used to walk to, a couple of blocks. I mean, the lady walked across the street with three dogs. Like, bitch, you got dogs. What the fuck?
Grabbing purses in the store.
Staring me down the whole goddamn time.
All
So,
right.
um, w- okay, so you did you vote?
Did I vote this year?
Yeah,
I did. I went with the third party.
good, good, good. All right. How you feeling right now with Trump winning?
Um, I anticipated that this was going to happen. I did not think it was going to be this much of a wash. I actually thought Harris was going to at least lose by maybe a million, under a million, and we would have been getting the results sometime in maybe Saturday or Sunday. But nah, this shit was over at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It
White
was a
woman
wrap.
played the role, didn't they?
Say it again.
White woman played the role, didn't they?
Yeah, I was just. Didn't we talk about this yesterday? How white
I
women
think so. Yeah.
cosplay like, oh yeah, what girl power, feminism, and all that shit, and get home to white daddy, and they are on code. 52% of white women. That's how many. That's what the percentage was for white women supporting Trump.
How's they coming up with these numbers? How do they know? Because when I vote, they got the card. I fill my name out. But the ballot is empty. So I mean, how do they know it came from a Negro?
What I've noticed in Florida, usually they usually have like almost a rainbow coalition of the aides and the temporary workers that's up in there, showing people where to go and all that. Them motherfuckers be having clickers in their hand, man.
Hmm.
They be having clickers in their hand like the dude at the door. So, and that was going on when I voted the first time for Obama. I don't know how they doing it now,
I
but
never seen that.
yeah,
Um,
I did. I did. I saw it twice, and
um,
usually it was one at the door and one just walking around expecting the lines.
Duke, I got you. I got one more question for Chad. Um,
And most of
and
that shit is data mining, by the way, too.
you said that you had a pretty good 4 years under Trump. Um,
Yeah, yeah. None of his
do
policies
you
really affected me.
do you believe that you could have equal success or greater or less?
Mm, my
Do you believe
mindset.
that he may just say fuck black people and not do anything, or do you believe that he may take it a step further and just do damage?
I don't see him doing damage because he really didn't do that much damage his first time coming around. And keep in mind,
Second time is different,
that's what
especially if
I'm.
it's the last.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna. If it's the last one, but I'll talk about
People
that.
expected Obama to step it up for us. They just probably felt like he had to get the first one out the way, and
Nah, and
come the
that's a little
second one.
naive to think that when the dude lost the House, when he was in office the first time, he had the House, the Senate, and the judges. He got what Trump has right now. So
Hmm.
why didn't he do anything?
Not a goddamn thing.
Yeah, I mean
Duke,
nothing. And the only reason I was thinking about voting for him this second time is because Romney wasn't going to do shit either. So I might as well just duke it out. I know this the last 4 years. This is why now I wish we would have just kept him in office because we'll be having a different conversation right now.
Duke, here's a couple of things. First of all, everybody follow each other,
Yeah, I'm doing that
but
right now.
Duke is the AEW fan.
Okay.
We-
I know. I'm
Uh,
weird.
I might
Duke
call you
is the
weird, brother.
Duke. I did.
Well,
Oh, yeah, I did. Y'all two follow each other specifically because Chad is with the wrestling group too. Actually, on the Facebook group as well. So y'all two could connect on the wrestling level as well.
oh
Um,
yeah. But it's before I go, my battery's about to head out, and I want to say my piece and such is that I'm not surprised by all this craziness. Like I keep saying, it's because this country, and like some people are shocked. I'm like, weren't you here in 2016? Weren't you here all the time? Don't you know history? These same people who are like so smart, they're so intelligent, these full intellectuals. And every time when the bell is about to be rung and they're surprised that the white women still, wow, they still vote against the interest. I don't know why. I'm like, are you sure they're voting against their interest? Are you sure? Because They keep proving you again and again that keeping white supremacy and keeping white daddy happy is their interest, right?
Yep.
That's what it is. And I'm just like, at what point is this going to finally get into these people's heads? Either it's just willful ignorance, or it's just basically just just basically being a grifter. And sadly, there's a lot of these black folk who are in the bourgeoisie would love to do that stuff. They are so happy to just say, "Screw you," and just like, hey, get some crumbs off master's table. You know, there's always that way, man. It just
So
it's just
let
like
me ask
that's
you.
what it
Let
is.
me ask y'all this. And undefeated, if you want to come up and say anything, brother, you're more than welcome. The Haze of Our Lives. I love that name. If you want to come up and say something, you're more than
I'll be
welcome.
right back. I'll just go on my computer. I'll be right back.
Okay. Uh, Damn, I had a question for Duke specifically, but I'll hold off till he get back. Chad, do you believe? Then anybody can answer this too. Do anybody believe that if Trump do damage to us, or if he just have nothing tangible for us whatsoever, and he didn't promise anything? Do y'all believe that that could run the American Negro Trump supporters back to the Democrats?
Mm, no, and let me tell you why. Because the one, and I hate to be this cold, but the one thing that most Black Americans, and they probably not going to admit this anytime soon, can agree on with as far as Trump is his stance on immigration. And there's already whispers going on that he's going to do a mass deportation his first 100 days. I think it's going to be his first 2 days. And
I disagree. Go ahead.
that benefits us, whether we want to like it or not. But there is the inevitability of his agenda. He want to get back at them folks that put him in jail. So that can be number one in immigration second. And that's when you're going to probably see the black Republicans, specifically the men, start pivoting towards a purpose view as far as things is concerned.
I don't believe that he's going to deport these people right now. I am going to, because I do want to make that a separate topic, the deportation. Before I get to that, Hayes Vardays, did you want to say anything?
I'm enjoying this conversation, brothers. I just want to land with that, and thank you for allowing me to speak.
Well, thank you. Thank you for tuning in, and you'll be welcome at any time. Um, Deportation. I don't, that's Trump's selling point, obviously, because it is a problem in America. But when you look at the fact that Trump did come in office. I remember the first day he got inaugurated, he locked at least Canada down. Couldn't nobody get in America. I believe that wasn't America. Um, I had people, with me being in Detroit, I worked. I mean, Canada is like a bridge away. Actually, we got the only tunnel or bridge that actually go to Canada, and so people used to uh, come work. They'd live in Windsor or Ontario or something real close, and they'd come work in Detroit. And they couldn't even come, even with their work visas and shit. They couldn't even come and work at that time. He shut it down. I know that he was trying to get active with that wall, with whatever the fuck that was gonna do. Um, they didn't get that shit done. And I know that he tried to, or at least attempted to try to deport people. But then white folks that put their foot down, hell no. And they tried to use, oh, you breaking up families. The people that may have been born to people have children here in America, and you got to know that these people getting pregnant now. These new women getting pregnant now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I believe that white folk may try to put a stop to that again. Then again, I believe that they are satisfied with the amount of Hispanics they got here because, like I said, according to the 2022 census, let me see. 1 second. Yeah, they say it's about 64 million. Hold on. 64.99 million Hispanics in America, according to the 2022 census, and about four. I don't know how they classifying black, but they say it's 47 million black people in America. So we outnumbered, and even if those numbers is off by a few million or something,
We're still
obviously we
outnumbered.
still outnumbered.
Yeah.
You um, that's why I say one. I believe this is the last election that they're gonna cater to us. And like I said, these are the 2022 census, so these people been coming during the Trump period, during Obama period, during Bush period, and possibly during Clinton period. To lead up to this.
Mm.
Um, so, like I said, I really don't feel like our vote. I think that this election proved that our vote don't mean shit. Um, and I don't believe that Trump is going to go full force. Like I said, during the vice presidential debate, when they talked about deportation, the very first thing that J.D. Vance said was that there are a million criminals, migrant criminals in America. And we're going to focus on getting rid of them first. That's when I knew that they were going to take their time. They're going to
Yeah.
take their sweet old time. Because if these people not sitting in jail, how are you going to determine if they're criminals or not?
But do you think that he said that just to make it look vigilant and not so much, if you're not American, get the fuck out of my country?
I don't know. I don't know where these white supremacists come from off rip.
Yeah.
Who's to say? And we got to look more into this JD Vance dude because apparently JD Vance was white folk played the role. I had white folk expressing to me that they were openly terrified of Trump and what he got. What they think this new project, not new project, the project 2025 was, and all this other different shit. But obviously, they vote say different. White folk do know how to stay on code. Um, um, oh shit, my bad. I was reading something and
Oh,
got
and
caught up real quick.
I do, not to cut you off, I do want to touch up on, you just mentioned something about us being outnumbered. And also, you got to realize that white people they looking at the birth rates and they looking at their population slowing down because a mass majority of their population is elderly, so they're not going to be around the future decades. So I'm looking at the things that Biden did, signing those bills for the Polynesians, signing them bills for the Asians and stuff like that. Do you believe that white people are starting to create allies, non-white allies?
Well, they been did it.
Okay.
They doing it with them fucking tethers you got around you.
Oh yeah. But here's the thing about the tellers. Shit, they don't.
Well,
They
if
really
you
don't
listen
think.
to these speeches, if you listen to these speeches, all the message to the grassroots, Malcolm had all that Pan Africanist philosophy. Then again, that these Africans really started flooding into America after the 2000s.
Yeah.
And they come over with this anti-black rhetoric, or the same thing with these Caribbeans, and the Caribbeans been here. But I asked a few people, they wasn't acting like bitches like the way that they are now in the '60s, '70s, '80s. maybe it started changing in the '90s and shit. Because white folk realized they could use darker people against us. So when you hear these speeches that I talk about, and when they say connect with Africa or connect with all melanated people, ideally that should be the way that it is. But again, I said I feel like we need to strengthen ourselves first before we could think about anybody else. This way, none of us get left out. You know what I'm saying? They are there, but they are creating allies, and matter of fact, they so much of an ally now that do you think that we could repair these relationships?
No,
Mind you, these are relationships that we never really had over the last
no,
500
no,
years. But
no. We can't. I still think that there's probably some work that can be done, maybe with brown people, but I'm not big on that ever since I started delineating. So I'm really just on the tip of, FBAs just need to get on code, and it's starting to happen right now. This election showed us that, yeah, we could do this shit the easy way or the hard way. And if you don't want to do it, shit, wait another 4 years.
so let me get and Ninja. You, I know you may want to speak on what I just said. Me and Ninja argue about this all the time, but I'll let him decide that. I'm gonna get Duke up here real quick, and then I'm gonna get Pecker Tom Ron out the way right quick. Y'all gonna see an anti-black motherfucker. All right, Duke, go ahead.
All right. You can hear me. Hopefully, I'm using my
Yes,
microphone, all that good stuff.
you
Anyway,
good.
if you haven't, I made a little thing in the chat here. I think that I believe that they're actually in New York City right now. They're ending the debt card program for migrant families. It is right now. I just saw this news and I looked at it, and it's actually a legitimate website from a local news from New York. Is that they are going to the immediate response calls for they're going to basically cut it off. They're done. So they allow migrant families to buy food at grocery stores, supermarkets, convenience stores in Bulgaria. So they're I think over in New York, they're just like, yep, it's time for them to go after the whole Trump stuff. They're packing them up and leaving. And it's funny how it's easy now that he can just do all this. So it's just it's gonna
They've been
get
giving them that benefits. I mean, these fucking.
yeah.
I mean, we being. I'm getting. Y'all are about to see a shift in certain things that I'm talking about because now it's time for me to get down to my local politics. The mayor run is coming up next year, and we got our white savior, and he have to go. But we got these new people that don't speak English riding around in brand new trucks, buying houses, all in the city,
Yep.
um, and fixing them up, and doing whatever they're gonna do with them if not living in them. And like y'all, I mean, Chris, I mean, Ninja, we literally started seeing these people fucking over the last 6 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like visibly seeing these people over the last 6 months, and they got brand new everything. So they are giving these people that shit.
Yeah, that's what it is. And my fear is that a lot of this, like, they're just pushing out the black, because again, it's just like they just see a new toy, like, oh, we can, they hate black people and they're a bit color, so we can say that, we can say all this stuff, but we're not racist, we're helping them out. Screw all the black people, screw them, we're just gonna push them aside, who cares, and we'll just take care of these people who are anti-black, and you know will do their dirty work, the jobs, um not better, but cheaper. That's what the real issue is. And no one really wants to talk about that. And it's just like I said, most people don't want to talk about that because it will, kind of mess everything up because this country is what's founded by cheap and slave labor. The cheaper or slave labor, the cheaper it gets, the better. because that is how majority of this country is run. And hell, I don't think Trump's going to do much about that either, because the majority of the people who funded his stuff, they need that cheap labor. They need it. They are like, if I mean,
I gotta find that article, but Trump was another thing that white folk was talking about when it come down to Trump, of them being terrified of him was he got a lot of Jewish organizations, excuse me, quote Jew unquote ish organizations that was funding him.
mm-hmm.
You know,
That's a fact.
uh, and that wasn't enough to scare white folk off. And you know how terrified they are of Jews. Before I get to Ninja and before I get to Pecker Tom Ryan, Duke, I had two questions before you got off. Um, how do you believe the second term of Donald Trump is going to go for American Negroes? And if he doesn't do anything tangible, have any tangible policies for us, or um, do anything satisfactory for Black Americans overall, even on the economic aspect, um, do you believe that they would, that whoever the Trump supporters were, would go back to the Democratic Party?
Well, I honestly think the second term will be more of the same, but maybe because again, I keep hearing that they're looking for people who are non neocons, which is, eh, I don't know. I don't see that happening because I think that this whole, you will never get rid of them. I think they're gonna be stuck in there for a while. I think it's going to be more of the same with a little more rhetoric, just more rhetoric, and you know, they're gonna get. I like no, they're not. I don't think they're actually going to build a wall. I don't think they're going to do anything else because again, logistically and the cost is going to be way too much.
I
And
can't
I think
believe
it's
that.
just
No, but none of y'all think that this man got potential to do no. I mean, like, it's not one that they can do no
presidents
type
don't
of
really
damage to us.
have as presidents for the most part don't have like a long time to actually to really have permanent policy. You have to be there for like for maybe 8 years, and even then, you know, it just they just change it right back again. There's nothing stable for it. That's the
But
real
you know
issue.
what? Well, you
I
can't
gotta,
count
I kind
on.
of gotta
You can't
disagree with
count
you
on
on that
no. You
one.
can't count on no Republican to change it, and you can't count on no Democrat to reverse nothing.
Yeah, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there will be some big changes because again, he does have the House, he does have the Senate, and he has the courts, and he's going to have the courts for maybe and change that for a lifetime. But I think if Trump knows what he's doing, if he gets the right people with him, he probably can do some policy changes. But I'm just like I want to wait and see. And if he doesn't, I don't see anyone else there. People say, "Oh, what about JD Vance?" JD Vance is not going to
Oh,
do anything else. He is just a basically a bit
I
writer.
was gonna talk about. I'm gonna talk about JD Vance later, but do you just real quick? Do you see him being another Mike Pence? Just
Nah, he's too
there.
much of a spineless worm. That's what
Yeah,
he is. He is a spineless worm,
Who,
and I
Pence
both
or
actually,
Vance?
both actually. If I want to be real with you, but I
Oh,
think
Vance
Vance
seemed
is
more
more.
outspoken. I never heard Mike
The
Pence say a
words.
word.
The problem is that he's the internet guy, the internet tough guy who just says all this stuff, but when you press him on things, nothing really will change because he is. I think he's just he's a better articulate version of who's that guy in Florida, Ron
DeSantis.
DeSantis. Yeah,
Oh
and
man,
remember how
DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis tried to do this stuff and failed massively because he just didn't.
Well,
Almost
see,
cost him the entire state.
Ron DeSantis was. That's why I thought that Donald Trump was turning white folk off, because Ron DeSantis seemed to have been going harder than Trump and some of the shit that he was saying. And then I noticed that Trump picked his shit up after that, but Trump retained his support. Um, Not saying that Ron DeSantis might not get another go at it though. You know, because they, if I mean, I don't know if Trump is able to change some of this stuff or not, but this could be his last term. Actually, it is his last term. The motherfucker about to die, catch cancer or
Yeah,
something.
he's about to move on, but I think at the end of the day, I think this is going to be a legacy. And some people saying this might be a brand new Trumpism. I'm like, slow your roll, slow everyone roll, and calm your ass down, because until we see otherwise, I'm waiting and seeing, and
We
until we
can't wait now. So okay, we can't wait. So have you started the message to the grassroots series
mm,
on wrestling with
I'll
racism?
Oh, I haven't. I tried to get back into it, but I've been off because I've been doing some stuff. Help my dad out, all this stuff like that, real
I
life
understand,
stuff.
but you should let your dad listen to it too. Start getting started on that, and then to come back and talk to me. Okay.
Oh yeah, okay, and I think before I you can mute and everything else is that like I said, I think that this is going to be um you know something that will be a generational thing is the lack of Democrats really trying to. I'm going to say this right now: the Democrats have completely need a true connection to people, and I don't think Gavin Newsom. People are like, oh, Gavin Newsom. I'm like, remember he was about to be kicked out of governorship a couple years ago. I'm like, he was almost recalled by California, and which, by the way, California, I gotta see if I can find this stuff here, and I'll put the thing up here how they voted. It's the you know it almost went. There was a lot more red than it used to be. So everyone's saying this, that, yeah. And I'm like, okay, y'all need to just
We don't have
people
time
need
to wait and
to.
see shit. That's what I was trying to tell you. Just go ahead on and check out the. I put it all in the playlist on my channel. Go ahead
Oh
on and
yeah,
check out.
but you know what I'm saying. I don't want people to be like, pappy pan. I'm like, because again, I always see let's wait and see because a lot of folk want to jump off the, let's jump into everything, like, do a blind leap of faith. And more often than not, that leap of faith leads you, it's not going to be your salvation or you're not going to find a platform. More often than not, it's going to be a black, empty hole. And the bottom is, you know, pick your poison or what it's going to be. But I always, that's just me. I always say, let's
Well,
sit and
this
wait
is
for it.
leading. The message to the grassroots is leading to ultimate independence.
Yes, and
Because
I want that.
you already know we got to pull ourselves out these parties, and that's basically what I was insinuating. I didn't say it, but we do need to pull ourselves out this party, and we already know that. So we're gonna work on that over the next few years, for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
just that's what it is. And I always I just looked and see how, you know, goodness. It's just like, again, I do, my worry is I talk to some folk who are getting like, feeling like very like, heartbroken and such. And I'm trying to be there rocking and everything else. I try to calm them down. But I do worry though, because some people just take that stuff way too that, you know, take it way too personal.
I don't
And
want to
I'm
go
like,
there with my mama right now.
yeah,
I had to do a lot of apologizing and consoling and stuff. And now we're gonna
yeah,
talk about consoling because we got to do it's something that need to be repaired amongst American Negroes, based off of this election alone. And I'm gonna get on that in a second. Ninja, you got something you want to say?
Yeah, man. I was just thinking, it seemed like it's a huge disconnect between black men and black female voters. It's like, the black females, they see the symbolism with Kamala Harris, but they're not focused on like policies or anything. And my question is, when do you see this disconnect stopping?
Well, the disconnect is with Trump, I believe, specifically. And if it had have been another Republican candidate that wasn't as open as Trump, I guess, um, that it could have been tighter, maybe. But you got to remember, a lot of arguments that I get into with people on here when it come down to Democrat versus Republicans. Talk. I'm sorry, my cat all in my ear. But talking to the move, talking to these Democrats, they are so like my mother. She was more behind Biden than Kamala. She kind of felt like Kamala wasn't the right choice on the Democratic side. Actually, she felt like Biden could make it through this, but and that was crazy within itself. But she just so anti-Trump that she would probably take anybody. I believe. I mean, if Ron DeSantis had a ran against Trump or some shit like that, maybe they probably would have been feeling that way. That's just the extent of people hate toward Trump.
Yeah.
And when I started talking about policies to these people, when it come down to Kamala Harris, why don't you go read for yourself, you dumbass motherfucker? Don't you understand Project 2025? Don't you understand Donald Trump is this, Donald? Well, I'm get that, and Donald Trump is not getting my vote. But what about this bitch who got potential to get my vote? You know what I'm saying? What do she have? She could do better than Trump. Like, okay.
Well, I
So
heard a
that's
lot
why
of them.
this weekend I wasn't on no spaces or nothing. I did my own little space because of the little wrestling shit that came on, but I cut that short. When I was getting headaches, I got to the point where I was calling older women bitches. Like, it's not supposed to be like that. This election tore us up as a people. And the crazy part is when you look at the stats, it's still no difference. Men and women was not that far apart because most men still voted for Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I seen a lot of black men getting blamed. Like oh, well, y'all got women running y'all household
Well,
and
that's
paying all
that.
the
Look
bills
at
and all
well,
that.
look at they profile. That's coming from Tethers.
Yeah,
They got them fucking
no.
flags in there.
I seen. Well, I don't know if I can say her name on here, but chick, big booty at
Call
work.
them out. We calling people out today too.
It's big booty. She like, oh, y'all niggas ain't this. Y'all niggas voted
Oh, you
on
talking
Trump
about?
and all that. So I
But
seen plenty of FBA people.
but okay, now we was talking about you right, and we was talking about earlier. I don't know if you was up here. We was talking about people watching the media on TV as opposed to seeing what's going on online. And older people do generally watch TV. So if that's the narrative that they was putting out on TV, then that's the narrative that she's going to use. Show her those stats and see what she got to say about that. You know what I'm saying? Show her those stats of the Latino men and the white women and the other people that claimed that they was more for Kamala for this reason, that reason. Show her those stats and show her like I said, black men show overwhelming support. Maybe not in public, but that the voting say different. They did come out and vote for Kamala. We did go out, not me, but we did go out and vote for Kamala. I voted for Cornel West.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But we'll get on that particular part later. And to the big booty lady that you're talking about, actually, I'll tell her. I got a better way of getting at her.
Okay, but for most black women, I know you said you voted for Cornell, but how do you think most black women will perceive you if you said you voted on Trump? More than likely, you
I
get a
already know
negative
how they gonna
response.
perceive me if I say. I already know how they perceive me if they said if I voted for Trump. Do you meant to say how they would perceive me if I voted for Cornell?
I mean,
Because the way they perceive me is they perceive that as a vote for Trump, and I get it. But this year I voted with my conscience.
Same
You know,
here. And I always taught this, and my dad always says this, and he believes to say if you vote third party, that's not it. That is the reason why they vote third parties because you're a candidate. He's not did not do a good job communicating. That at the end of the day,
Hey,
that is the
no,
issue.
go look at Dr. Cornell West.
Oh yeah, I looked at it and I agree to some of
That's
it.
something
And
that everybody should want, right?
Yep.
yeah, yeah, but the problem is it's the red team, blue team. If you get third party, you're evil. There are people are still pissed off of Ralph Nader to this day
Yep.
because of Gore and Bush. I'm like, if Gore was that good, he wouldn't have lost his home state. He wouldn't have lost, Florida and such. He was not a good candidate to, with Clinton and everything else. It's people still blame. Look, if your candidate cannot connect to the American people, then that is up to the candidate. You can put all the celebrities there. You could put all the things there. You could put them on TVs and everything else. But if they're like, oh, this is just vibes, it's vibes. And if you look what I put down in the put down at the thing here, and you saw the chat and everything, the whole thing. This is what California voted like in 2020. You see, there's some blue stuff, and then 2024. Look how much red there is. It's a little light, but what does that tell you? What does that tell you? You can't run a thing on vibes. You can't run a whole thing about joy and hope or whatever. We had hope and change, and he didn't. That was a vibes based thing, and it didn't turn out well. You have to put things more on the table, and I just it
Well,
frustrates me
okay, so
that those people don't get that.
real quick, because I do got to get the pecker time around real quick. Um, do you? I think it was 100 days, right? Since Kamala had to step in or whatever. How weak is the Democratic Party for them to not? They had to know that Biden wasn't going to be able to make it, at least do a second term. How do y'all feel? It's like they kind of gave it away to the Republicans. I used to say it in reverse. It seemed like Donald Trump was losing the shit on purpose based off the ridiculous shit that he was saying and white folk fear, I guess. But they couldn't plot this out a year ago. Even policies, like even Kamala herself, get a little team on the side without Biden even knowing, like, look, let's try to figure this out in case I choose to run. Even if I choose to run in 2028, let's get this on the table. She came with nothing. And they trying to play it off like, oh, she had 100 days to get this shit together. No, y'all had to know. Y'all that weak that y'all couldn't even get nobody to run against Biden in the primary. Did they even have a primary for
No,
Democrats?
they did not.
No.
They had a pseudo primary when the president's there. Like, oh, you could do that, but no, not really. It was just he just accepted, and then the nomination and such like that, and then I mean that debate. Good lord, that two old white folk talking about golf. I was like,
What
we're
killed Biden?
done.
What the funny part is, what killed Biden was that BET interview. That's when they like, yep, your time is up.
If you don't vote for me, you're not black. That thing, which was the
No,
Breakfast
no,
Club.
no. The BET one that he had a couple of months ago. He said that years ago when he was he was so incoherent in that interview. He couldn't connect his words. When he got to talking about black people, he low key scolded them. I've done more for black people than anyone, any president in the history. Like, what the fuck? His whiteness, his white supremacy came up. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say, hey, within these next couple of months, is he gonna do something damaging to us? He, he been a white supremacist his whole goddamn career. Like I said, C-SPAN, that boring ass channel that don't nobody want to watch. I remember it was on Channel 9 when I was a kid, and I could watch 2 seconds of it, not know what the fuck they was talking about, and turn it off. He been on there being anti-black the entire time. This man became our president.
Mm.
Go back. He was running against Obama. in the primary, and Obama kicked his ass. But they was beefing before that. Why did you
Mm-hmm.
choose this man? You know, we're gonna get on vice presidents in a second. Anybody else got anything to say before I show y'all corn real quick?
No, go to the coon, man.
All right, cool. Pecker time, Ryan. Don't nobody have time for you to be making little voice games and deflecting from questions and shit like that. So just answer the questions, okay? Negro was supposed to be up here. He's busy now, so he's not going to be here to ask these questions. So we may come back to you, but since you've been waiting so patiently, Ronald, welcome to Wrestling with Racism. You wasted 5 hours of your time, nigga. Ain't nobody tell you to stay in this bitch. I told you to get the fuck on
5 hours
first.
of this bullshit.
All right, how
Five,
you doing, Ronald?
like holy shit, bro. And all I
Yeah,
wanted to do was to say that, like just to call you on your anti-black bullshit about me, especially me. But you wasted 5 hours of my time for this.
all right, go ahead. You wasting time now.
No, 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 no. Just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Finally, you listen. I'm sure all of you have heard him say that I'm anti-black this, that I hate black folks that, and blah blah blah. He'll have you believe that I condone the deaths of black people, including the ones that he's always mentioned time and time again. I'm trying to figure out like what the fuck. Where do you come off of calling me anti-black, and you're the biggest anti-black motherfucker on this godforsaken app? Especially when
Uh,
you keep calling
Elaborate.
especially when you keep calling fellow black people tethers, coons, rat coons, handkerchief heads, or whatever the fuck that is. And you lie saying you love black people when you clearly don't. So how make that makes fucking sense.
Well, a tether is a
Speak
tether.
speak up. Can't hear you. Speak up.
A raccoon is a raccoon, like you. A pecker tom is a pecker
Speak
tom,
up. Speak
like
up.
you. And a handkerchief head is a handkerchief head. I mean, you got the handkerchief over your head right now.
You can speak up. I can't hear you. Speak up. You're
Hold
saying a lot, but I don't hear you.
I can hear you, brother. Go ahead.
hold on 1 second. Hold on. Let me get this cat out my face first. Let me there we go. We're gonna mute this motherfucker right quick. See, again, in order for us to have a discussion,
Speak up.
we-
Hello. Speak up.
in order for us to have this conversation,
Hello. Speak up.
the fuck is anyway, in order for us to have this
Speak
conversation,
up.
in order for us to have this
Saying the same
conversation,
things over and over
hold on
again.
1 second. Let me just do it like this. In order for us to have this conversation, you're gonna have to be a little bit more productive. Okay? So we got the finger pointing out the way. I'm racist, I'm anti black, I'm this, I'm that, whatever. Elaborate. Oh, the bitch left. Okay. So again,
This this guy wasn't ready to talk to anybody. He was just trying to get
no,
calm.
no,
He
no,
was
no,
doing that,
no,
man.
no, no, no. I dealt with Ronald before, and I'll send you some of the stuff. He get real childish once to get to the point of him not being able to say nothing. That's why I was gonna have Negro talk to him because, like, Luke, you see what I post on Twitter, and then you have these
Yes.
conversations with me, and it's along the same lines, but I tone it down. You got to know the difference between what's trolling and what's not trolling. You understand what I'm saying? And he can't distinguish the difference because once we get to talking about some real issues like this, he goes back to talking about how racist I am. Mind you, he's talking about protecting the images of white supremacists. All I do is exploit white crimes, true or false. Could throw it in their face. With me doing that, he choose to throw black people across in my face. Who takes more accountability for black on black crime? Who takes more accountability for the state of black America than black people, right? Black Americans. When I exploit white folk crimes or when I exploit tethers, this, that, and the other, you got to take that for what it is. Either I'm telling the truth or I'm telling a lie. And if it's a lie, prove it. And instead of him taking that time to prove it, he trolls. Get to acting childish. Get to acting more anti-black. Get to pointing fingers again. So I ask key questions. Again, you get to deflecting on shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I get that, man. And
He would have
I
had a
think that.
better, he would have had an easier talking to Negro. That's why I really didn't want to bring him up until Negro got here.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Anyway, I'm going to before I I head out and such. I've been doing for like for a couple hours because I want to say something and everything else, and looking at the aftermath of this stuff, and my worry of some like I said, you talk about the whole wrestling stuff, and I don't want to knee dap all that stuff, but you know my worry is that you see, guess who was like the big like part of his campaign and such like that was Linda McMahon. And you know what her husband or ex-husband or whatever Vince is going through and stuff. I think that he is, we all know he wasn't going to really serve any time. He wasn't going to do the purple walk. But with his
He's
boy,
never been convicted of a crime.
no,
He's being sued
he's
for everything,
yeah, he's going to be sued, but
including up to rape. If people don't not familiar with Vince McMahon, um, he is the founder. He made the WWF WWE what it is today. $1 billion
mhm,
conglomerate. He's a one man promoter. You know what I'm saying? And got a big stranglehold over professional wrestling and what it is today. And what ended up happening was he's always had allegations of rape, sexual misconduct, sexual assault. Now, recently, prostituting women, degrading them by having sexual acts, forcing these women to have sex with other men as he takes shits on their head. This all this stuff is documented. And he's being sued by multiple women. He's been sued by multiple women in the past. One woman he was sued. What's that Rita Chatterman stuff? Around 92. Um, you know, she sued him, and he didn't even end up having to pay her until fucking 2023 or some shit like that. When you got a man like Sean Combs sitting in jail right now, awaiting trial, you know, nobody could definitively say what Sean Combs did beyond the rumors that we always talked about. You get what I'm saying? These are rumors.
mhm,
And there's still nothing concrete. Nobody could legitimately say what the fuck is what. Y'all, we could talk about these parties, but there's no real details. You know what I'm saying? And he's sitting in jail right now with no bail. And when you got this man, Vince McMahon, who basically sold his company to a group that include the UFC. It was a big $21 billion deal, and he, possibly walked out with $10 billion in his pocket after taxes.
oh yeah, and he is not, like I said, you know, the best you can hope for is a Les Moonves type of thing, where he just like, if you look at the past him, he just like, well, he got like, he had police officers warning him, and the worst he got was 11K fine, and he got his money, his golden parachute, and dipped, and that was it. But now with his boy Trump in the office, that whole federal lawsuit, the big lawsuits, that's gone. That,
Yeah, the
that's
big
it.
one. So
Yep.
look, if Vince McMahon might come out of $100 million, even if he was to come out of $1 billion, he could do that with no problem, and his family's still gonna be set for generations to come. You
Oh
know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
and
And
he could just pay this off and walk right back into TKO. Hell, TKO is in debt right now because of all the WE and realizing, this reason why they have all those commercials and stuff, trying to please all the advertisers, doing the advertising and wrestling are pretty crap or whatever. They're
mhm.
like, please, please, just give us some money. That's why I put dude wipes and everything else and cinnamon toast crunch and everything in our matches. Please, 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 begging for that stuff. And had to kick all that debt, whatever, when Ari Emanuel and everything. Now, if Trump is with Trump in there, he's going to clean that mess up. I wouldn't be surprised. In a couple of not just he might come back and stuff in March or whatever. I think by next year, not just next year, but the year after 2025, late 2025 or early 2026, he's going to buy the whole thing back. He's going to say, you know
Well,
what? We're gonna buy it from TKO. He's gonna be at the full power, and he's gonna be on Netflix, and he
well,
has all those TV
I want
deals.
you to consider something. Vince is in his 80s now, right?
Now he's
And
still in '70s. If you
well,
check,
it's getting there. You know what I'm saying?
his
Um,
mom lived until 100.
right. But the point that I'm trying to make is Linda, his wife, ran for senator of New York twice, and she used her own money. She didn't get no funding from nobody or nothing, and she lost twice. And Trump put her in his campaign, or I'm sorry, his cabinet. I think she was head of the small business or something.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that the McMahon's is trying to figure out a way to get in politically.
And that's where the most power is. And I talked to you about this, and I think many other people, YouTubers, you should look this stuff up here. Is that most of these black entertainers and celebrities don't do is that they don't get into politics. They don't get actually people who are like local and state and all that type of stuff. If Bill Cosby was, regardless of what you think, he did all that stuff. If he knew people in that, like in the state where he was charged and everything else, like the DA and everything else, you think they would have put him in jail for 4 years? Would
Yeah.
they, would they do that's the problem. Is that when you get the money, no one cares. I pay my lawyer. Who cares about that? It ties right all back in. Is that if you know people in who make the laws, who make not just in the federal and a lot,
Well,
but
Hill
locals,
Harper,
man.
You know Hill Harper, the actor, right?
Mm,
He
who?
ran for what is it, Chris? State representative, I think. It could have. I wrote him in for senator, but he lost the primary to that Rashida Tlaib bitch, who is a Middle Eastern. Middle Eastern people are gaining political seats in Michigan now. Finally, and that's crazy because they overstepping black people now. You know,
Yeah.
did we allow that to happen? I don't know. I don't think we could reach certain areas. So this is another thing that I wanted to speak on. Because, and this goes to criminals. A lot of criminals come out of prison, reformed, new thought, and they may have the best interest at heart for our people, but society, including us, would not allow them to take that step forward, possibly because of their criminal past. Same thing with Malcolm and them. Y'all got to know that a lot of people were against uh, Malcolm and the nation because they looked at them as criminals, and most of them were reformed criminals. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of us at that time did not want to give them the time of day. Same thing too. Another factor of that was fear. How much of a
Yep.
factor do y'all believe that we as a people have a fear of moving forward as a people, especially when it comes down to revolutionary acts?
The reason why it's not just fear, it's just media and such. We've been programmed or poisoned. I said because of the individualism. Like we forgot that people say, "Oh, Malcolm X and MLK fixed racism and stuff like." No, there were so many other movements,
It's
and they
funny
were
how many
just
people actually
yeah,
say shit like that. Go
they
ahead.
just it's like no, they had people behind them. They were spokesmen, but there are other people in those groups who did the work, including themselves, that did the work, that did everything around it. Heck, I think there was an interview Malcolm X when he came back from I think was pilgrimage. I can his pilgrimage, and he was like, you know what? Yeah, he's like, the reporter's like, "Are you worried about Don?" Like, yeah, he know. He's like, yeah, I'm on the pathway to an early death. I'm paraphrasing, but yeah, he knew what he was doing would eventually have him, get murked because of what he was trying to do. And I think that type of movements and such, we romanticize the leaders, but not the people who were part of the organizations. We forget about them. We don't know who they were, like from SNCC to everything else. They were the ones who helped bridge and to help bridge these people to the marches, and everything, the Midnight Riders, everything. And I hate the fact that this country basically poisoned the well, to speak, of these leaders and other leaders that have been forgotten by time because they said about groups and togetherness. Nope, it's individual. It was Malcolm X and all this stuff. It wasn't the people around him. It was Martin Luther King and Malcolm. Him and Martin X hate each other. Da, 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 da. I'm like, no, they did not hate each other.
They didn't. They
They
didn't. They didn't. They work didn't even mesh with each other. So they was Martin was pulled these ways, and Malcolm was pulled these ways. You know,
Yeah, and they
you
met each other and they were cordial with each other. In fact, I think one story they actually played pool against each other and they laughed and joked or whatever. They had a like mutual respect and such. And that and I hate the fact that people use this and it goes to the same thing, the comic stuff, which is just if you ever saw that meme of like, oh, but the real, Professor X and Magneto, they're just, Martin Luther King and Malcolm. I'm like, shut up, stop talking about that stuff. Do not use these fictional characters about real people who actually fought for some real shit, not some fake comic book shit. All right,
I've
I'm
heard that
tired of
shit
that,
so many times,
so
bro.
I need
and it pisses me off
I
because
need
again,
I
it,
gotta
it just
go ahead, dude.
it pissed me off because it trivializes the work these men put them through, the families, what they've gotten through, and the suffering, and the people in the groups and everything else. It just makes it into like, ooh, it's so cute. Like, no. And then not only that, it trivializes the fact that the fight is over. No, the fight is a continuous one until we get a tangible, until we get our reparations, until the true justice of the people who have fought, not just lost their lands, but their lives, their livelihoods, their names, everything.
You know,
It's
white
just,
folks feel like they not racist because they not calling us nigger to our face.
mm,
White folk feel like they not racist, despite the fact that they benefit the most out of the system of white supremacy via anti-blackness. Notice it's called white supremacy. Um, like I said, I always use this example. Bob Barker off The Price is Right could appear as the nicest man in the world, but you can't live in his neighborhood. You can't double date with your wife, with his wife. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
Uh, they could tell you to your face that Black Lives Matter. They could go online or talk to their people and say that the nigger deserved it.
mm-hmm.
He shouldn't have raised his hands. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the same people who have like multiple signs of saying Black Lives Matter, trans rights, LGBT, all that stuff, and then
And
next
I
what do they
find it
do
funny
on?
because I mentioned this earlier because now people starting to say, "Oh, it's Antifa, Antifa." Well, Antifa is white folk. And I think they try to use those little code words to say black people. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Oh yeah, and that is the worst part of all of this is like they're just like, oh, we're doing this and all this other stuff without actually doing the work and just say that. And then when it's time to do at least the bare minimums, you know what they do? Most of the white women, guess what they do? They go and vote for the person who's just like, who matches their interest. And I know someone don't want to hear this, and I said this like earlier, but you know what? It's not voting against their interests. It is their interest. It is their interest to keep the status quo right here. It is their interest to keep black folk, American black folk, on their right on the bottom of the totem pole, to keep them begging for scraps, and don't give them any scraps at all.
So,
So
okay,
that
so
is what we are.
I want to utilize this aspect because I kind of jumped off of that. Like I said, when you get certain people that do start off at least to seem like they have the best interest at heart for American Negroes, but when they get into a certain position, America prevents. And I take Kwame Kilpatrick for example. Um, and Kwame family, his mother was a state representative for decades. His father was a big time guy in the politics somewhere in Michigan, and he became the youngest mayor of Detroit, and he vibed with us. You know what I'm saying? The media took him down on that aspect, put him down on that aspect, but he was actually doing work for the city of Detroit. He was bringing us big business. And on top of that, he was giving key contracts to American Negroes, like to tear down the Tiger Stadium and to build Comerica Park and the water department, just certain contracts to American Negroes. And they, gave him the largest sentence of a politician. If you actually read into the details of what they were charging him with and why, you'll see it's bullshit. You get what I'm saying? And look at the amount of work that he put in and what type of work he put in. You know what I'm saying? When he was doing things specifically for American Negroes, if he couldn't coon out, they locked him up. So with that being said, like, do you believe that people that may seem like, especially in the Democratic Party, may seem like they have the best interest at heart for us, and they'll never reach the status of a president, maybe even a senator or a congressman? Like, are we going? I mean, how many John Lewis's can we actually get? Then again, when you look at certain things, did John Lewis actually do anything for us? You know, have Maxine Waters done anything for the people of Georgia? You get what I'm saying? They could just keep us coasting. Do y'all think that somebody can actually follow through and be pro-black their entire career and actually make moves their entire career for us? Y'all understand the question? Cool.
Damn, I
Nobody got
broke
an
up.
answer. I'll let y'all sit on that for a second.
Hold on, I
Real.
didn't catch that last part. I was breaking up.
No, I was just basically saying, like, can anybody be Negro first and work for Negro people in a political stance?
Well,
Work
there
for
was
Damn, you just said your
a
boy tried
DC
it.
mayor, a DC mayor called
Marion
Marion
Barry?
Barry. He tried. He got locked up for cocaine or whatever. The old said that was a big old, like, it was a meme before the internet. It's like, the bitch set me up,
Yeah,
and then he came out. He got reelected, and he had much love, but was not just black, for black seniors, black. Everyone loved him in DC, and I think that, and then he passed on and such. But like, I honestly think that someone like him was I feel like he was like the really only one to do it, and I'm probably missing some because there's probably some out there
I
who
I
did
I, I
try.
I heard about Marion Barry, and I always had that stigma that he was a crackhead, this that, and other. Till I got older and read into his work, and he did do work for American Negroes down in D.C. and the tangible things, and he got cut off the gate from there. I think Baltimore or D.C. got a mayor now that's young.
Oh yeah, he's young. I think it was called the DEI mayor because of the whole
Yeah,
bridge thing, which is just
he went on like Fox News or something and said, "I'm glad that y'all see me as DI mayor, and I'm gonna be in your face." And when he said that shit, I listened to his State of the Union address, and I can't remember certain specifics now. I know that he was talking about defunding the police, but the way that he defunded the police was broke it off into sections. Listen, sometimes you don't need to call 911 on somebody. It's a mental health issue, and he set up
yeah.
programs for that.
Brandon, it's Brandon Scott, by the way.
Yes, Brandon Scott. That's a brother that a lot of people need to look into, especially if he choose to move further than DC. Um,
He's done. He just won re-election.
yeah,
So he with 80%, he just blew past everybody, and he was that. You know, he was just the look. There was a the local stuff. It wasn't even close. It was like he won by uh, over 120,000 votes in Baltimore. So they love him there,
yeah,
and I
and
think
I
that's
mean, like, I think everybody up here should just look into his work and just look at some of his interviews, look at his State of the Union's address and stuff like that, and see there is at least one person out here, and even though it's just in one particular city, it's in a very black city. Um, we need more brothers like him as opposed to that Justin Pearson guy.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Who don't have a black first mindset, especially after listening to that Breakfast Club interview. If nobody remember that, go check out. Justin Pearson was the guy involved in that Tennessee 3 debacle earlier this year or last year or some shit, where they got suspended for speaking up or something. But their issues was more on gun rights and elder things and this, that, and other. Nothing, I think Tesla and Figaro kind of asked him certain questions and he deflected, of course, back to the shit that he wanted to talk about. Them not the type of guys we should look for. And that's the same guy that came out with that Martin Luther King accent. And, I don't talk about the other guy because he Asian, you know.
Yeah, it's just I hate that. Like you don't need to go in that. I have a dream. No, just talk to you. Just do your regular voice. Be regular. Just
And
say,
he got
"Hey,
a
this is what
regular
we got
voice.
doing." Yeah, there's no problem with being a regular voice. What's wrong with that?
Negro, you finally came up here. God damn it, let me try to get Ronald back. I knew that was gonna be some shit with him talking to me. I ain't even feel like going there. When I send you, Duke, I'm gonna send you the shit, man. This is matter of fact, it's one of my last videos.
Oh, all
Uh,
right, man. I got to get out of here though. It's like 10:40. I got some stuff. I had to
okay.
clean stuff up, man. I
Duke,
love y'all. I'll
I
talk
went
to
too
y'all later.
long on. I went too long on this, but we're gonna get on the wrestling aspect sometime this weekend.
All right, man. Be safe. All right.
All right,
All right, brother.
appreciate you,
All right.
Negro. What's up, man? You asleep, man? Ain't that a bitch?
Man, they got me working. They had me working like a goddamn slave up in this kitchen, brother. Like, hey, like
Man.
I was working at Slave of America, aka Bank of America, Slave of America, cooking money. I'm cooking food for those rich execs and bullshit. So yeah, I'm cleaning all types of shit. You know, they got the Latino workers that don't want to work hard. They just throw the shit on the Negro. So you know how that shit go. Sometimes you get burnt out, man.
Well, they about to take that shit away from your ass now, cause Where you at on this Trump deportation shit? Let's start with
Oh,
that.
oh, 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 man. I don't care how they deport it. As long as they ain't deporting Negroes, they can kick them all the hell out. That's their issue. That ain't ours.
Question
Because
is, do you think he gonna do it?
hmm?
Question is,
Well. There was a space earlier this afternoon that Brother Chef had, and they were talking about some of the new ice programs that they got coming out that they about to roll out. They got the new ice cream trucks for the ice mobile, so it's going to be a cold winter on January the 5th and beyond. So 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 I'm all for it. I'm all for ICE breaking down the doors, dragging their asses out, sending them back home, reuniting them with their families and all that.
was
Hell,
I
I
up
might.
there
I,
earlier? Did I heard that from somebody? But I'm not buying it.
wait, wait,
I'm
wait.
not believing it.
Let me post that up in the jumbotron. Give me 2 seconds, good brother. And then on top of that, like hell, there's some of the brothers and sisters going as far as to say that this could be a niche market in which we can control and actually enforce our will. Like black men should, and veterans specifically, should want to join up with ICE. Don't become a black cop and abuse your people. Become a black ICE officer and do something to others. Um, that's my motto
Uh,
right now. That's my
uh,
motto right now.
yeah. We're gonna continue on with that later on in life. I got you though.
Oh,
One hundred percent.
I got it up in the jumbotron. The new ICE program, OPLA, which is talking about the legal services and whatnot to get these guys out the paint. They're talking about the legal services. They're also talking about hell, you can't even cross the border without the lawyer on their neck, and they need to be arresting these lawyers, these immigration lawyers who is not monitoring the people that they're bringing across the border, because half of them are MS-13s and all these type of gang bangers and mental health people that are dangerous for our population. So people that thumbs down in that, man, you're encouraging the genocide of our people when you allow other groups to come into your territory. Like I don't understand with that. That's a weak back spirit to me.
I just got a hard time believing that this motherfucker is going at least okay, so look, okay, so they say it's what, 67, 65 million of these Hispanics in here. Uh I don't know if the census was counting legal people or not though. That's the question. Like that's the thing. Like is these 67 people according to 2000 65 million according to the 2022 census legal, or they can the census add immigrants in?
No, unless they have citizenship, they shouldn't be counted.
Well, then that means that
But they are counting these people. They said that there's 10 million of these people over here illegally. 10 million of them.
right now.
Yeah. So I'm all for him
So
doing
what
whatever he
percentage?
got to do.
Okay, okay. That's kind of what I was getting at. So what percentage do you think that they are going to get rid of these 10 million?
Man, I don't care. Well, I care. What I mean, I don't care is as long as they keep putting the pressure and putting the boots to their neck. If it start off with a good knocking down 25%, and then and escalating all the way till they get all of them gone, that's the motto. Get them all out of here.
I doubt that, man. And okay, so if it get violent between Hispanics and Negroes, do you
This is
think
the
that
reason why.
America?
This is the reason why we need to have ICE officers so we can see. I'm gonna give an example, right? When I was living out in New London, I got into it with this Latino guy who kept saying "nigga, nigga, nigga." Right? This little young kid looking like 69 or whatnot. You know, the little punk ass rapper. He going around saying "nigga, nigga, nigga," and in a store, a convenience store. So when I started pressing them, less than 5-10 minutes flat, Latino cops came to see what was going on with that. What we need to do is have Negroes that's on deck with ICE. So when we have these issues, they can get them out the paint. That's how we need to be playing. But some of our brothers ain't got the heart and the stomach for that because they want them taco stand coochies. That's the problem.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of thirsty motherfuckers at my job where these motherfucking migrants is filing in. Like,
Brother, I've seen it all the time. These old ass niggas. I'm at the job right now. This old ass nigga got like 3, 4 melanated women that he want to associate with, but not knowing that they icing him out to get him the fuck out the way. But he don't want to sit back and talk to the black man and actually build with that young black man. What he does, he demonized that black man. He does things to make my life difficult. Like this is the anti-black behavior that these baby boomers have. Like, honestly, I hope the shots take their asses out because they are in
well,
the
no, wait
way,
a minute
brother.
now. Wait,
They are in the way.
here's the thing though. Like I said, I have a hard time trusting no white supremacists on anything. So like I said, either they're going to lollygag with it, or if it's 10 million, they're going to get rid of 1 million, which means we still got 9 million here.
Then
Not
you
to
put the
mention, like I
pressure on
said, a
his
lot of
ass. Then you put the pressure. Wait. Let me give me. I'm gonna put y'all in a secret right now. There's this candidate guy named Tim Cotton, right? Let me post that up in the jumbotron for y'all. Tim Cotton, this guy got a bill right now saying that he don't even want these Chinese people to do STEM. That's how real this white man is, and he has policies right now on the books to get white folk, get these Asian people out the paint. See, that's the type of white man, not to throw on the cape, but that's the type of white man you want to discourage certain other communities by actually putting some policies in. And on top of that, he said that he's not even messing with the Trump he's not even messing with the Trump administration because they reached out to his ass. Let me post that up in the jumbotron for you, brother.
yeah. I want to
Yeah,
see who
yeah.
this guy is.
His name is Tim Cotton. Tim
What is
Cotton.
he? Is he a senator or something?
Yes, he's a senator. I want to say either in Kentucky. He's a senator. That's all I could. He's a senator who has been talking this. He doubled down on what Trump was talking about, brother.
Do he got any views on black people?
Oh, he got some, he ain't for reparations, I don't think. I'm just more or less looking at his immigration policy. Here you go. And this is the guy who's not really messing. They said Tim Cotton declines to move it, to Trump's cabinet. See, Trump was trying to get him up into play. Trump was trying to get him into play because of some of his immigration policies is very thorough, especially when it comes to in the collegiate sense, getting these Asian people out of the STEM because they're using that technology to be weaponized against our community and other communities at large. See, they go to these Ivy League schools to get the best education in STEM so they can compete against us, not to not to make the world a better place. That's kind of the problem. And that was one of his policies. He's talking about bringing back the Chinese Exclusionary Act, brother. That
Yeah,
that that's
young
what the
cat too.
that yeah, that's what he talking about right here. I can get behind that policy. And Rel, I see you
I'm
thumbing
having
down, Rel. I see you thumbing down, Rel. Are you a K
Real,
Hive?
you need to come up here,
Yeah,
man. I
Rel. Are
gotta
you a
holler
K
at you
Hive
anyway.
member? Are you a Kiv member? Kiv member? KIVE?
Was you up there
KIVE?
the other day with oh man, balance space? Real, come on up here, man.
No,
Ain't no,
no,
no
no. I
we
blocked
not
this
gonna
goofy behind.
we not gonna beat you down. I'm not on that right now. You just come on up here real quick.
I might.
Well, that's between y'all. I'm not about to go through all that. I actually don't have nothing against real, but then again, I I
Nah, he's
thought
one
I
of those New Yorkers that had those blue policies, and these immigrants flood states like Connecticut, right? We get yeah, you know what I'm talking about because you laughing too, because you know I'm speaking truth to power about this. See, this is the reason why I don't like these New Yorkers. They bring in their drugs, they bring in these immigrants, and they bring in these problems in these
man,
small
it
states.
was his story. It was his story that threw me the fuck off. This nigga said, this nigga said that what his daddy, his mama is a Trinidadian and his daddy is an American Negro, and your daddy restricted you from hanging around anybody other than the American Negroes. Your accent is real
Yeah. I
heavy,
heard
man. Come
about
on
that.
up
I
here.
didn't know that was him.
That's him. Come on up here, man. How you doing? I chopped it up with Real for a couple of hours on one of my shit one time, and he, did not come off cornish. He didn't come off as a tether. So, speak your piece.
Shout out to the host. Thanks for holding this space. Uh,
Welcome.
yeah, yeah. Um, thumbs down. Yeah, thumbs down. Well, first of all, before I even address that, let me say you got it backwards. It's my mother is from America, and it's my pops that's from uh Trinidad. But everything else you got right. Um,
Okay, because I thought it was the mother, so that makes it even kind of worse. Why was he so restricting you from his own people?
I explained that already in the other chat, and you asked me that
It's been
question.
over a week, and you talking to a new audience.
And I explained that to you. But I'll go ahead and reiterate because this is a new space. I am new to this space. I'm new to your audience. So from my understanding, uh, within the neighborhoods of Brooklyn, my father and my mother was not too far from the house, and they were robbed or attempted to be robbed by two Puerto Ricans, and one of them stabbed my pops. And from that, I think his past experience with other ethnic groups is what made him come to the decision to not allow me to bring anybody home that wasn't from America, like Black American. So yeah, there's that answer.
Well, I noticed that you kept saying bring home. What about hanging out?
Well, I'm in New York City, so when you're in the schoolyard, like and things like that, I'm a kid. Like I ain't really like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not racist or prejudiced. So I speak to people, of course. Um, I communicate with people, I interact with people. But like as far as like bringing people home, coming over for birthday party celebrations, Christmas, going with us to Blockbuster or 7-Eleven or some shit like that. Like, yeah, that was not gonna happen.
What about you going to them, to their home?
Um, nah, not necessarily. He never really told me like, who crib not to go in unless like he was like, oh, you like stay away from this building or stay away from these people.
See,
But
that
like,
was kind of disconnecting. That's what you should have said up there because you made it appear as if and mind you, I misunderstood because I did think the whole time that you said that your mother was Trinidadian, right?
well,
But
I think it was because of the way that they was asking the questions and not really
it
allowing
was
me
a
to
lot of
talk.
confusion. There was a lot of commotion, I should say.
And not, yeah.
Um,
So
the okay, so I asked you about your mother's friends and family as a result. So now that it's your father, did your father have any family
you said
that
it.
he was close with?
Yes.
So you hung with them, your grandparents, your cousins, aunts, aunties, uncles.
Yep.
So you well in tune with your culture then, right?
Um, I would say growing up in New York City. I'm only like I only know what I see, and I only know what's in front of me. So growing up in New York City, despite what a lot of people believe, like there's a lot of like uh Negro slave descendants, American Negro slave descendants still in New York City. So and being that, hip hop is the culture from my generation, hip hop culture is American Negro culture. So that is the culture I'm more in tune with than anything. If you if me being young, like I could say, yeah, like I was around different types of music, different types of food, but honestly, I ain't paying attention to none of that. I ain't pay attention to any of that until like I really got older and like understanding when I became an adult. And then I started learning more about my father's uh family and where they come from, essentially.
All right. Because I want to say I'm gonna just give it about 30 more minutes, and there's this a couple of things I want to talk about when it come down to this election. But did you want to respond to Negro?
Yeah, I just quickly want to say, yeah, Negro actually has me blocked, and I'm glad he has me blocked because he says a lot of things that's just hilarious to me. Like you talking about putting people in a racist organization to potentially do something in your favor. That's like you trying to like make a deal with the devil. We don't need none of that. We don't need no more like black police officers. We already seen like what happens with that. What we need is for American Negro people to organize and decide how we are going to defend whatever it is that we decide to do moving forward, whether we're defending it legislatively, socially, or physically. We should
Man,
not
All
be
you
right,
out
can
using
of
I
place,
respond to
another
that?
man. You out of
Oh,
organization
place. You
okay.
out
to
of
try to
place,
push
Oh,
any
Earl.
type of agendas
You
because
out
we
of
should be
place,
trying.
Earl. I understand you, but you gotta stay in your
Okay.
lane.
First of all, Rel, you're a POC. You're a people of color, right? I wouldn't even consider you a Negro because you don't have it on both sides and all four corners, and also up to having your grandparents too. See, I both of my grandparents are Black American. Both of my parents are Black American. So I'm not gonna listen to some diluted blood who's in favor for immigration and immigration policies when it's hurting Negroes all across nationally, where we see them infused with gang behavior, human trafficking, organ harvesting, the fake credentials, where they working in our hospitals, perpetuating a genocide against our elders and our loved ones. So you can spare me the
And
tears.
these are things that
No, no.
American, not to cut you off, these are things that American Negroes do not participate in. Go ahead, Negro.
And yeah, yeah, and now we're gonna talk about this ICE. ICE is not really an officer that is a law enforcement agency that could be waged against people who are connected and who it has natural citizenship here in the United States, right? So yeah, I'm gonna tell black people to be a part of ICE, but any other form of law enforcement agency, I'm gonna say it's a no go. Then on top of that, they're the second largest intelligent gathering agency. Information that we need as a community when we're interacting with these foreign entities that are hostile against our community. So you could spare me the immigrant tears because I know that you're an anchor baby while we're the real babies over here. So whatever you're saying, this is the common stuff that New Yorkers be talking about. And this is the reason why I left Connecticut. Because you guys have flooded Connecticut with immigration, with the nonsense that y'all be promoting.
I beg to differ. And then you mentioned something about New Yorkers and stuff like that, letting them know the drugs. I don't know what you're talking about because I know New Yorkers that never left their neighborhood, and it's
What are you
been over
talking
20
about?
years.
Wait, I
And
could
you're
I
talking
could point
about
to
New Yorkers.
cases of people.
Negro, I didn't cut you off. I didn't cut you off, bro. Could you allow me to go? If you want to talk, you can go right ahead. Like, but I didn't cut you off, my brother. I don't know if I'm allowed to call you that since I'm
No, you're a distant
mixed blood
cousin. You're a
or
distant cousin. You're a
whatever,
distant cousin.
or whatever the case is. And
You're a people of
the
color.
fact, the fact, the fact that I am part of the lineage, which I know that cuts deep in your soul. I know that hurts you very much. The fact that um my family is an outsider if we're talking in a tribalism system. I know it hurts you deeply, but the fact still remains the same. I am a Negro slave descendant from America. um Whether you want to accept it or not, that's the fact. uh I have a lineage that traces back to 1830s. So I don't know what you're talking about with
Is
this
it on all
whole.
sides or on both sides, sir? Because I got it on both sides, young man, not just on one side. So
Well,
I ain't lopsided.
just
I ain't
because you have it
lopsided,
on,
brother. I
you
ain't
can have it on
lopsided,
six
brother.
sides. You can have it on six sides. You can have it on
Wait
And
a
six
you
sides.
minute,
hear?
It
No, wait,
still
wait. Now
doesn't.
you
Real,
It
see.
still
Wait,
real,
wait.
doesn't.
Now
The
real.
you hear
fact
how
Wait
he
still
a minute.
remains
Wait
the
a minute.
same.
Wait a minute. Wait a
The
minute.
fact
Wait a minute.
still
Wait a minute.
remains the same.
Real.
I have a
Um.
genetic connection to
No,
American
you're a
Negro slavery,
byproduct
and
of
that
no.
cuts
You're a
you
byproduct of an
deep.
interracial relationship.
That cuts
That's what you
you
are. You're
deep.
a byproduct of interracial. See.
All
The
right.
thing
All right.
is,
That
All right.
the,
cuts
All
you
right. Y'all hold
deep.
on. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Real. Where do you stand on immigration?
Illegal immigrants need to get out of here. I'm not for all of that border stuff. I'm not for all. I'm not for none of that.
what you mean by you're not for all that? Explain.
I'm not for everything that's going on. Them letting in illegal immigrants at the border. Them letting people in at the border that's not supposed to be here and shipping them out to different states, different cities. That's primarily cities with black people in it that are of people who migrated here and people who are originally here. No, no. That's not
Then
cool.
what's your thoughts about legal immigrants? Because there's some legal immigrants that are illegal. I'll give an example, like the Italians. They are WAPs without paper, right? These are people who lied to get their credentials to become American citizens. They should be removed as well. I don't care if they've been here for 100 something odd years. You lied. You're
If someone lied and broke the law, yes, they take their ass back to wherever they come from.
so that means
So,
two or three generations deep. Now we're talking about two, three generations deep. We're talking about your first, second, and third generation of immigrants that are coming over here. So that means some of the Europeans, that means a lot of the Asians, that means a lot of, and if not most of the Latinos, that means some of the Caribbeans. That's what I'm talking about here, Rel.
Well, you do know not everyone came here illegally, right? You do know
Well,
there are people
I'm
who came
full,
here through the proper
brother,
channels.
brother. I'm fully aware of that. I'm talking about the people, like I gave you example, historical example of the
Okay,
Italians, of
okay.
the
And if you and
Irish,
all I'm saying, if
of
you
these
break the
various
law,
different.
if you break the law, you deserve to face the consequences. I don't care who you are, black, white, alien, or whatever. If you break the law, you deserve to face the consequences. Period.
Okay, and the other thing I wanted to challenge you on was is talking about saying that you have enough I would say stock blood in your system to advocate and talk for Negro people
I
when
don't
you're
advocate and talk
by
for.
no no
I
no no
don't
no no
advocate
brother
and
no no
talk
no
for
brother no
nobody.
wait
I don't
brother
advocate
no
and
brother
talk for
wait
nobody. I talk for
brother the way you
myself.
were
I speak
brother
for
the way that
myself.
you
I don't
were
speak for
the way
nobody
that
else.
no Rel, the way
all
that
right,
you were
y'all
talking.
gotta, let him get his question out.
Yeah. The way that you were talking, brother, you were saying that you have more credibility in the community, even though you're biracial. That's like I consider you like a zebra. Like you're like no different from you have the stallion people, and then you have the white horse people, and then you mix together, so you belong to a whole nother class of group of
Well, real,
people.
do you go into Caribbean spaces?
No, I don't. I ain't Caribbean.
No, I'm talking about real.
They have those.
He
Mm,
playing
there's
dumb,
somewhere
man. He
around here.
playing dumb, man.
Come on now.
No, I'm like,
It's a
they
big.
have those. Like,
Come on now.
No, come on now.
Real.
Come on, stop the cap, yo.
Come on.
I'm being dead serious. Like,
No, no,
Okay,
no.
so
Stop the cap, bro.
okay, so you got Caribbean friends on Twitter, right?
I don't have any friends on Twitter. I got
Oh, you
people
know
that
what
I
I mean.
follow, and I got some people that
Followers.
I tune into when they do spaces, and that's about it.
Caribbeans. Caribbeans.
I've never I don't know I didn't know I don't even know that
So you
exists.
strictly interact with Caribbean people. I'm sorry, you strictly interact with American Negroes on Twitter.
Um, I don't know, like, I mean, I'm not sure because there are
You don't
like a
have a
couple
law
of other rooms
enforcement
that I go
background, right?
into. I go into a couple of other
Hold on,
rooms
Negro.
too. That's like sports rooms. I go into gaming rooms, and I essentially don't know the race of the
And
black
are
people
these
that I'm
people
interacting with.
Caribbean?
I
Are
don't
these?
know. I don't know their race. I'm not asking them that. I don't.
Uh,
To me, that don't matter. Like,
You go on a
I just
lot
don't
of
want to
Black
be around
Oh,
American
here you
anyone
bases
go.
that
and
He
not
said
be
it don't
asking these
matter.
questions now.
Wait,
to
wait,
me, I
wait, wait,
just
wait,
don't want
wait.
to
Or
be
Slow that.
around
He said
anyone
it don't
that's not
matter.
racist, or I just don't want to be around anyone that's not racist.
Brother, it's supporting your ethnicity does not make you racist. And see, we're not even talking about from a racial aspect. We're talking
well,
about
yeah,
what's
I
in
yeah,
your
didn't say
yeah.
anything
genetics.
about
That's
that.
Right?
I'm just
racist.
No, no,
saying
I'm
I just
just
don't
no,
want
no,
to
no.
be
I'm
around
just
anybody
throwing
that's
that out
racist.
there. I'm just throwing that out there, Rel. Just throwing it out there because the way that you're talking, in the way that you're coming across, is saying, well, I the way that you're talking, you're dancing around the issue when it comes down to ethnicity and trying to put ethnicity as race and saying that people are racist when they're not. And that's the rhetoric that these anchor babies, these tethers talk when we say that we want to delineate. He's like, "Why you being a racist, Yakata?"
I I
See, that's
I
the
think
energy that you're giving me. That's the energy that you're giving me. That I'm hearing that you may not fully expressing that, but it's being expressed and it's being
And
picked up.
I, I,
it's natural too because that's him.
I
You know,
I think you're
that's
missing, and I think you're
that's
misinterpreting.
them. I should say.
I think you're missing. I think you're misinterpreting. You're asking me if I'm going into rooms and if I'm interacting with people who are strictly African American or Negro American. I don't know. I don't lineage check people. I don't care to lineage check people when I'm talking about video
I
games or
mean,
sports.
obviously,
Oh,
sometimes you
so
would.
all black is the same with
Some
this guy.
I don't.
sometimes you
I
would.
never said that. I never said that. I said I
Well,
go.
are all black the same to you?
Of course not. Everyone has, and all white is not the same. All Asian is not the same. What are we
All
talking about?
whites in America are the same.
No, 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 no. I have to
The reason
humbly
I
disagree.
could tell you how they're the same, how they treat the Negro. They all are diametrically opposed Negro and Black American people.
Hold
It don't
on,
matter if
Negro,
they,
man. Oh, Negro, you was supposed to let him answer that. Come
man,
on.
you know this watered down Negro ain't got the answers to this because he ain't lived this.
I need to see where the man coming from. Let me see.
I'm not.
Damn, man.
I'm not saying
Let me
anybody.
take care of this. I got you, man.
I'm not saying
I'm
anybody.
sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not saying anybody here is racist. I'm just saying
Come
when I
on
go
now.
into
You
a
know I gotta
room,
be racist than a motherfucker
when
now,
I go
boy. Come on now.
when I go,
Don't sit up here and tell you done heard enough of my shit to sit up
Like
here
you
and not
called me
think that
racist
I'm.
and you said that you were glad that I blocked you. That you said that right off the rip.
You called several people racist the other day. No, that could have been the other guy. Did you use
No,
the
no, he
word
called me.
did you,
No, no, he called me racist. He said, "I'm glad that he has." He said he glad that I have him blocked. It's because I'm racist and I say a lot of funny shit. That's what that brother said right when
it's
he
a
grabbed the
recorded
mic,
space. It's a recorded space. You could go back and listen
brother.
to what
That's
I'm
what you
saying.
said, brother. That's what you said. That's why I
Why are you
pushed you. That's why I was
gaslighting?
pressing on you.
Why are you?
No, I'm
I'm
not
what
glad.
the
gaslight. I'm
oh
stating the
God.
fact.
Well
I'm so
using this
glad you blocked me,
terminology.
Negro. I'm just so glad you
Yo, this
blocked me.
dude sound like a K Hive member.
I'm
Sound like a
so
Hey,
K
glad
Hive
you
Real,
member.
your
blocked me, man.
terminology, man, is your terminology.
I'm so glad Negro blocked me. But like I'm saying, I'm
Your
not saying when I
terminology is
say
something else, man.
when I say that I'm going into a room, I'm not specifically talking about this instance. I'm specifically talking about when I go into a room that has a discussion about gaming or something like that. Like I'm not necessarily like lineage checking people in those rooms. I'm just going into those rooms for the conversation.
So you don't know if it's hosted by a Black American person or a Caribbean person because isn't Kai Ascent? He a Haitian guy.
I
Like
mean,
he's one of the leading gamers. So I
according
hear
to
you.
you, according to
No, no,
you,
no, no.
I
It's
don't
not
know.
according to me. It's
According to
common
you,
knowledge,
if
brother.
we're
You can
going,
Google that.
if we're going by your definition of who's black and who's not, then I don't know. I guess a whole lot of motherfuckers not black. Because according to you,
Sound like some
I'm not
flat
you.
blackness.
According to you, like I'm a cousin or some shit you said. Like I don't know, like how white people think of
Do
Middle
you
Eastern people.
Brother,
classify
you
yourself? Do you
brother.
classify yourself as an American Negro?
I do.
My bad, man. I mean, you can elaborate a little bit more. Go ahead.
I
Like,
do.
do
I
you see
do.
yourself as more American Negro or more Trinidadian? Right?
Why not the term African American?
Because that's a illegitimate term. That's after understanding and learning as I became an adult. all the things that they tried to do, like Jesse Jackson and all of those evil people, trying to derail a claim for my ancestors. Yeah, I'm not using that. I'm really trying to go back to the word Negro. You know what I mean? I be saying it in real life, in the real world. I be getting clowned for it or whatever. But I be still trying to, like, you know what I mean, keep
Who
my
you getting
message strong.
clowned by? Who clowning you for this?
Um, you know, people my age, mostly the millennials. Like
No,
I
no,
was
break
kicking
down
it
the
with my
racial
like
as he was asking the
I was
racial
Well,
kicking
come
it.
aspect,
on now.
bro.
You
I was
already, Rail, you
I'm
should
getting to
know
that. I'm
now.
getting to
You
that.
should
I'm
know
getting
the
to that.
question I just
I'm
asked
getting
you
to
now.
that. I'm getting to that. I was
Don't
kicking
dance
it.
around it.
Yeah, I was kicking it with my family this weekend, and you know, I was just talking. I was talking to them about what's happening politically and what I was going to put in for the write-in ballot for the vote or whatever. And I told them I was going to put in. I put in what actually is pinned tweet on my page, and I told them that's what I was going to put in, and they thought I was joking. And yeah, they laughed. And this is my family on my mother's side. Let me add that, which is the American family.
How do your other side of the family take you acknowledging yourself as a Negro?
Oh, they love it. They love to see that I'm embracing where I come from. I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
So they don't take offense to it, but the American Negroes take offense to it.
Well,
I'm calling cap,
I
man. This
never.
this sound like some this
When you
sound like
say
some
offense,
Kamala Harris cosplay.
when you say offense, like I never like I haven't spoken
You
to.
didn't use that word. What did you use? What you said they clowned you for it,
Yeah,
right?
they laughed.
Why did they laugh?
I assume they thought I was joking. They thought I was joking in the beginning, but I told them that's what I
I
said.
could see if they took offense to it, but they laughed at it. But the other side was more acceptive of it. That's funny to me.
And the other,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
so
ass
I should
backwards
add,
to
let me
me.
add the other side never heard me, like I never told that I haven't told that to the other side. I haven't necessarily had the time to even speak to the other side about that. I've been mostly with that side, mainly because we just had a aunt's birthday who we just was celebrating, and we was like getting stuff together in preparations for the past month. So like we've just been like group chat each
What
other.
type of party was it?
It was a birthday celebration for my great aunt.
So what type of music? Al Green,
uh
Frankie Beverly,
no, it was mostly like
Bob Marley.
nah, it was mostly like it was
Afro
mostly
beats.
like it was mostly like music.
I couldn't think of nobody else. Heavy D, I
No,
don't
it
know.
was mostly music from like
Stevie Wonder.
2000 to 2015. And then they
Sound like
threw a little
Afro
Not
bit of
beats.
the
Nelly, Lil Jon, and
they threw
Jeezy.
a
Come
little bit
on
of
now.
the oldies in. Yeah, they threw a little bit.
No, it sound like Afro beats, man.
Um,
Just keep it real with us,
but
man.
mainly
What type of food did y'all
they try
have?
to keep it modern because it's so much kids come. So, but they don't want to play too much of the new stuff.
You know, bro. And like I said, I listened to some of the conversations that we had on that day. We went like 4 hours because it had to get broken down because the spaces kept fucking up. But you know, I told you a lot about Detroit. You told me about a lot about New York and the politics in that. But just talking to you lately and over the last space, and you haven't said nothing in particular, just an observation. You seem disingenuous. Just an observation. I don't know where to come from with you.
And you said I haven't I haven't said what in particular.
You haven't said anything in particular to make me feel that way, except for your story, like between your father and just certain shit that you say that's just I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
I don't know.
You take it or leave it, man. I don't know what else to tell you.
Negro,
Yeah, yeah, checking in. What's up?
I don't know. I just you
Man,
think
brother,
he's
brother,
genuine.
brother, he
I'm gonna have to
giving
send
me
you that conversation that we had.
brother, he giving me law enforcement vibes. He's giving me Obama vibes.
I'm thinking,
It's just that like I played in some Al Green. Now I'm a Negro. Like nah, bro. I want to know. See, I post up my DNA test in my
no,
other
he didn't
page.
say Al Green. Wait a minute.
No,
How
no,
old is
I'm
your
being
auntie?
sarcastic. I
How
was
old is your
being
great aunt?
sarcastic. I was being
How,
sarcastic, bro.
how old is your great aunt?
Say again.
How old is your great aunt? How old does she turn?
72.
Ain't no way in hell y'all listening to no damn 2000s music
Nah, we do.
for her birthday
Nah,
party.
we do.
I don't know. Them Africans be bumping that Afro beats, man. That's why I said Afro beats, brother.
She
I
very
said that right out the gate because that's that time frame of when Afro beats was popping, brother.
Nigga,
she's
for my
very
grandma's
accepting.
76th birthday the other day, we sung the Temptations for her.
She's very
And we
accepting.
sing the Stevie Wonder. Did you
And
guys sing the Stevie Wonder birthday song, brother? And do you know the
yeah,
Stevie Wonder birthday song? See, this shit that Negro people got in all four corners. This is what we do, brother. This is what we do and live.
Rel, do you know the happy birthday song?
Uh, yeah, I think so. But my
No, he
aunt
don't.
is
No,
Just
very
don't
sing the
sing it. Sing
chorus.
it then.
lively.
Just
I'll
sing
sing
the
it.
My
chorus.
my aunt is
Sing the chorus.
It's a
my
long ass
my
song.
aunt is very lively and
No, no,
stuff.
no, brother. Don't
She
dance
just
around that.
came.
Sing that song, bro.
She just came
Cause I'll
from a
sing it right
cruise.
after.
She just came from a cruise. In Miami, like she always taking cruises. Like so, you know what I mean. It shouldn't be a person that takes cruises. It should not be that far fetched for them to listen to music, like all types of music, and be hip.
No, brother.
An
Nah,
old
Was she?
brother.
person
Hold
You're
can
on,
not
wait
love
a minute.
singing the
Wait,
music.
whoa, whoa,
song.
whoa, whoa. Was she drinking on her birthday?
No, she was not drinking. She don't drink. She don't smoke.
Okay. Can I sing the song HBK? Cause he don't know it.
Can we not sing the song?
Why you gotta sing
No.
it? I know you know it.
Yeah,
Can
yeah. I'm
we just
surprised
not
he
sing
don't
the
know it,
song?
but he's saying he's Negro though. That's the thing that be teeing me off.
Can we not sing the song? We got more
No, no.
serious
How
music
about
and
you
stuff.
learn the
No,
song? How
no,
about you
no,
learn the
no, no,
song?
no, no,
You
no, no,
non-Negro.
no, no. Just name three Stevie Wonder songs. I don't want to hear no singing. Y'all niggas sound like y'all can't sing anyway. Can you name three Stevie Wonder songs without looking it up right now, off the top of your head?
I know I can name one, "A Ribbon in the Sky," right? That's Stevie Wonder, right?
Yes, that's Stevie Wonder. That's the only one you can name.
I, I mean, I'm pretty sure I can probably name some more if I think about it hard enough.
Man, you
Shit.
don't even know the Black Man song. It's a black man. Doom. Come on,
Hey,
man. You ain't no Stevie Wonder nigga, man. Come on, man. You an
uh,
Afrobeat nigga.
Okay, I'm an Afrobeat guy because I can't name three Stevie Wonder songs, right?
yeah.
Okay, sure.
See, this is the reason why people be looking at you sideways, brother Rel, or I'll say cousin Rel. Um,
I
distant
mean,
cousin Rel.
correct me if I'm wrong. We are about the same age, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you have been living in America as an American Negro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Man, I'm telling you, this is the new hustle,
And
man. They
Stevie
trying.
Wonder is not even Stevie. To be honest with you, I probably got like two songs of Stevie Wonder in my playlist,
Mm.
but I know at least 30 songs.
Well, my mother ain't never played none of that in the house. Like my
What does
mom's
she play?
playing a lot of like Total, Mary J, a whole bunch of
Ain't
that
no
stuff.
Michael Jackson. Ain't no Prince.
Well, of course, Michael Jackson.
Mm,
My father usually listened to Prince.
so it kind of lined up a little bit, you know.
Man, they sound like his mom was from the '90s, bruh. Like Total and them in the '90s, bro. And my mom listened to him, but she ain't listening to them. She listened to Temptation. She's 50 something years old.
No,
Temptation, Four
no,
Top,
no, my mom, no, 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 no. That's
Motown.
why I say it lined up because my mama listened to all that shit too. But she still went back. But at the same time, she,
Not my
you know,
mom's. That's all she would blast. That's all she would
that
blast.
that lines up. That lines up a little bit. I don't know, man. You still got some federal
Man,
vibes on you,
man,
sir.
man, man, man. Your paperwork is dirty on the yard right now, brother. You got to clean that paperwork up.
Man,
So
honestly, I ain't here.
you
I ain't here to prove
okay?
nothing to
Now,
nobody.
all right,
Honest.
because I did say I
You
wasn't
know?
gonna beat up on them, and
But
I'm not.
but I definitely don't mind
Real, I don't
adding
want you to
context to the
think. Real, I
situation.
don't want you to think that there's no type of disrespect because, like I said, we have talked before, and I didn't think that you were disrespectful. I do think that the conversation the other day got out of hand, but you got to understand. You do understand why we have these conversations, right?
Um, I mean, I get it, because it's a lot of make believe people out here doing a whole bunch of double agent stuff, and I get that. Um, you see, my thing is just that
Well,
sometimes
that
we can't
accent,
allow
boy,
people
that
to change
motherfucker,
us.
it wasn't like that the first 5 minutes. My bad. Go ahead.
We can't allow people to change us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of people and who we are. Um, and that's what I'm gonna say about that. But and
Define
with
what
that
you
being
mean by
said, like
change
I
us.
said,
Can you please explain by change us? Like, can you
like
explain about that
when
a little bit?
like uh so when someone goes through things, someone can go through something in their life and it could be life changing for them, and that could totally like alter the course of their life, and they make decisions now, based off of that one thing that happened to them. um and a lot of people can end up going down the wrong path or losing in life because of that. And
So,
I
do
just
you think doing the same thing as always is not viewed as insanity? So, like, you keep banging your head against the wall instead of changing the direction and hitting the other side of the head. You're gonna keep hitting the same soft spot, right? That's what
well
you're encouraging, right?
Well, that's not what I'm saying. You're taking what I'm saying and you're completely dicing it up and putting it back together like a Frankenstein. I'm not
You
saying
need to
that.
be
I'm
clear.
saying if someone is
You gotta
doing
be clear.
something to you, the way that you react to what someone is doing to you, or what something or something that has been done to you in life. Like a lot of people like to think that God is punishing them or this is karma when bad things happen to people all the time. It's how you deal with it in life. And that's what I was just getting at.
Bro, you from New York and you experience a lot of different cultures, right?
Yeah.
Who are the most disrespectful
The Jews.
amongst melanated people?
Mm, I'm gonna have to say.
Negro, man,
I'm gonna have
stop,
to say.
man.
I'm gonna
This
have to say. I'm gonna have to
Negro,
say.
stop, man.
I'm gonna have to say. It do with the South Americans count?
I don't know. Are they melanated?
I mean, shit.
I tell you what, rank them. Just give me your top five for the most disrespectful. 5 to 1.
Man, I've seen some very disrespectful South Americans. I can't tell you where they from, but I know they from South America and they Latin.
South of Bordarians, then that's one.
I'm not gonna put a name on it. Like I said, I'm not asking these people where they from or nothing like that. But they pretty much seem
Man,
to
it's
be
a
the
lot of
rooters.
disingenuousness coming out you,
But he
real.
knows who a Negro is. He can go up and tell it, this person's a Negro, but I can't tell you if this Latin person is
But
from
I can't. Yeah, nah.
Guatemala,
I can't tell you. Yeah,
Mexico.
nah.
But you live in
I
New
can't.
York where there's multiple cultures, brother. Stop the cap
But
because
yeah, nah.
I've
I
been up
can't
and
tell
down
you.
New York and I could tell who's who. I could tell who's who. I could tell who what Asian person I'm talking to.
You
If
got to
they're
get that
Vietnamese,
together, real.
Korean,
You've
Cambodian,
been in
Laos,
enough of these
Thai.
spaces to have your
Come on,
stories
brother.
together.
Get your weight up, brother. Get your weight up, man.
Nah, I'm not versed with South Americans and what the hell they got going on over
Well,
there.
brother,
South
hey,
America
well,
had a
they
big
know
ass.
who.
South America
Where
had
do
one of the
American
biggest black genocides in
where
the
do what
world. I don't know if you're
and I'm
interested in that.
talking about in person, not on Twitter. Where do American Negroes rank as the most disrespectful toward other melanated people?
In New York
In
or
your experience, your
in my
lifetime,
experience in
you
America.
anywhere you traveled. I'm sorry.
Honestly, zero, and it's the other way around, zero in person. All of that stuff
You
that you're
just
talking
called
about,
this man racist.
I only see that on like the Twitter and the digital aspect of the world. I don't see that in the real world.
Gotcha. Okay, I can see that. Um, Chad, you got anything you want to say?
Yeah, y'all can hear me. Is my audio janky? I'm in the car right
It's all right now.
now. Okay. Real. I got a quick question because I'm just baffled. Have you ever seen the movie The Best Man?
Uh, yeah. I seen that movie. That got that dude from Empire in it. What's his face? Terrence Howard.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. Now I have another question to follow up there. The scene where the dude I can't take I think his name is Tay Diggs and Nia Long was about to get it on. There was a song playing and it started skipping. Do you remember that song?
Hell no.
Oh God.
God damn, bro! I tried to give you a curveball because I refuse to believe that you can't name not one, not two, not three.
Hell no, I don't know the name of that
What
song.
was
And
the best?
I seen that movie
What was
like
the
10
best man
times
about?
too. Seen that movie
What was
like
the
10
best man about?
I seen that movie like 10
Okay,
times too.
let's go with that.
Homie, it was they was
Real.
four best friends, right? One of them was a smooth talker guy, that was Terrence Howard. The other one was like a nerd, that was the Dread guy. The other one was the football star, the athlete. The other one was like a bookworm, wanna be cool
Damn.
guy. And I think the bookworm wanna be cool guy had sex with the football star athlete's wife, and the dude ended up still
So
marrying
I'm
her.
gonna
I
cut you
wouldn't have
right
did that.
there. I'm
I
gonna
wouldn't
cut you
have did
right.
that. She would have had to get the hell on.
I'm gonna
That was
cut you
me.
right there because you got it. You know the movie. But so with that being said, that is an iconic scene of that movie. The song is just as powerful as the fucking scene.
See. The thing is, when black people consummate and have sex and procreate, we play certain songs where our children come out and they vibe into the music. What love music did your parents have when they were coming up? When they had you? See, my parents
I'll
told me.
never come back to Georgia. Um, have you ever seen Five Heartbeats?
The doc, no,
Have you seen School Days, brother?
no.
Yo, man, I tell you, he's a half a Negro, man. I'm telling you,
Mm.
he's a half a Negro in every sense in the way. Like you missing half
Have
the
you ever
person,
seen
brother.
Soul Food?
I seen Soul Food, yeah.
Have you ever seen Soul Plane?
God damn.
Yeah, I seen Soul Plane, yeah.
Have you
What
ever seen it more than once?
I've seen it more than once, but
What about Undercover
I stopped
Brother?
liking it because it play on too many stereotypes.
What about Undercover Brother? Have you watched that?
Yeah, I watched that. Undercover Brother funny. Eddie Murphy funny.
It wasn't Eddie Murphy, brother.
I said Eddie Griffin.
No, you said Eddie Murphy, brother.
He
Yeah, I said no.
said
I said
You
Eddie
Murphy.
said
Murphy.
Murphy.
Yeah, I did say Eddie
You
Murphy,
said
but
Eddie
Eddie
Murphy.
Griffin.
See. But you ain't called me racist though. I got you though. I got you, bro.
Because I mixed up Eddie Murphy and Eddie Griffin name.
Come on, man. You got
No,
to give him a little. You got to give him a little slack. Now he fix it up quick as
no.
hell.
It's no. The point that I'm getting at is here. He made a comment say, "Oh, it's recorded. Like you could go play it back as if I'm lying."
Yeah, you could
No,
go play it back,
nigga.
bro.
No, nigga. You lying over there. That's
I
the
ain't
point that
lying.
I'm
You the
getting.
liar, man. I ain't gotta lie for shit, bro. Like I gotta come on this Twitter app to lie. Like I got better
First,
things
you
to do,
already
bro.
lying when you saying
So,
that you
real
first
okay.
you.
Wait a minute. Now you are in these spaces, and okay. So, what is your friend base like? Is it what's the percentage of American Negroes? What's the percentage of Caribbeans? What's the percentage of Africans? What's the percentage of Jews? Give me percentages.
I ain't really got friends. My family mainly, and business associates. I ain't really got friends. I lost majority of my friends. I got like one friend. He's um African American or American Negro. Um, Negro would say that he's a half blood. Um, because
I
What is he
call them
mixed
anchor
with?
babies.
his mother
Anchor
is
What
from
babies,
what
brother.
is
here.
he mixed with?
His mother is from here,
I'm
and his
sorry.
father's from some is from a Caribbean country, the Bahamas.
So, what about these business partners?
Um, for the most part, um, it's real rough out in these streets. I'm really trying to do business outside of my family because I want to build my own network and my own wealth before I even collaborate or come to them for their network. So, like right now, me being in New York and Miami and sometimes Houston, I
Sound
would
like
say
a
a
lot of
majority of the
Caribbean.
people that I mess with business with is like white, Asian. Uh, I really don't get too many Black Americans, but if I do, it's definitely more. I think I got like maybe one Caribbean business associate. And this is a lady that cooks.
And you go up to these business partners and say that you're a Negro. Am I correct? Am I correct?
Come on,
Yeah,
Negro,
yeah,
leave him
yeah,
alone
yeah.
right
I
quick.
mean, I've been in business now. I've just
Uh,
started my business 2 years ago.
They ain't pull. Wait. Slow that down. They ain't pulled no loans
Negro
on you
making
over
me
every
seem
over this.
soft as shit. Now, what the
You said what?
hell? No, I said this is me. Negro making me seem soft as hell. I'm over here trying to take some of the slack off of you right quick, but I feel what Negro saying. What I mean, do you mind saying what type of business dealings these are?
Um, Mostly contractual. So I would.
Hang on one
No,
second.
man. What do you
One
do for
second.
business, man?
One second. One second. Oh, he done dipped up out of here. Hold on. Y'all go ahead.
Yeah, yeah,
Y'all go ahead. Go
yeah. I have
ahead.
a question, young man. What type of like, for example, I'm in the business of nonprofit, lineage based spiritual stuff of that nature. What under the guise of Christianity? What is your business then, brother? You don't have to give specifics, but is it in the food industry? Is it in the policing industry? That I don't know. Just take your pick, man.
It's nonprofit charity and education.
So you got a
So you
nonprofit, then. You got a
partnering.
registered EIN number, right?
Yes, I do.
Wait a minute. You partnering with all these other ethnic groups. Who are you educating?
Um, it's I'm educating an audience, whoever wants to be educated, and what they would be
Educating
learning.
on what, brother?
Okay, yeah,
That's what we're getting at.
that's what I was getting ready to say. Even though you said I didn't have to get into the specifics. Um, Educating them on community safety, how to organize in the community, and community history.
Wait. Whose history and whose community are you talking about organizing, sir?
When I say community history, I mean like the history of the neighborhood in which the organization is based out of, and I'm not going to say like what community. It's an area in Brooklyn. Um, yeah,
Flatbush,
it's an area in Brooklyn. I'm not going to say where in Brooklyn.
Crown Heights.
Um, um,
I'm joking. I'm trolling on that. I did.
no, 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 no. Hold on, because going off of percentages, what's the percentages of American Negroes that you educate?
Um, I would say, well, are we going with half? This whole half
No, we're
breed.
not
Okay,
going
so
with
we're not going
half.
with the half breed.
You got a lot
So,
of
so
the Kool Aid flavor. You got too many packs of Kool Aid in the damn pitcher. No
He,
more
he ain't
halves.
got no sugar in there, and ain't no got no flavor to shit for the like that makes up the real
You
Kool
got
Aid.
so many flavors in there. You don't need sugar. This shit sweeten itself.
right. I would say American Negro is
I'm a
is
huge
getting
fan.
is mostly getting the education. And I would say it's like the
Mostly
yeah, like the people who are being educated. In terms
So your business. Wait. Can we slow that down? So your business partners are people outside the lineage, and the people who you're educating is from the lineage. Wait, what the hell What the hell product are you selling to our people?
Wait a
well,
minute.
I'm not
What's your
selling anything
role?
to any
What is
specific
your
person
role?
or people.
What is your role in educating these people? And I'm sorry. What is your role in this organization?
My role in this organization, as in my
Hmm.
title,
Yes.
I'm the president and CEO.
So you chose to partner with these people.
Yes, I did.
Okay, wait, brother, bro. The reason why we're so confused, even myself, is I have a nonprofit, right? My nonprofit is geared for Negro people. I connect with other Negro Black American folks. I do business with other Black American folks and other Black business partners in the state of Delaware, right? And when I was in Connecticut, I was doing with other Black American business owners in the state of Connecticut. I was not trying to partner up with white folks. I was not trying to partner up with Asian folks. I was not trying to partner with any of these other groups and demographics. And you can see why I'm side eyeing you like crazy. Nothing personal.
What the hell is an Asian gonna tell any American Negro about themselves?
Well, this is not a lineage history course. This is an
So
educational
you
course
could
on
teach American
organizing.
Negroes about Latin. You could teach American Negroes about Latin people or Caribbean people just because they're in Brooklyn, right?
Say what?
You could teach. You don't have a specific lineage, so you're speaking of that community specifically,
Well, when
right?
I say no, when I say community, I mean like a neighborhood area. I don't mean like a group of people.
So you can go to an American Negro neighborhood and educate them on American Negroes.
No, so the neighborhood is a mixed neighborhood, and who comes for the education on organizing community organization safety and community history, neighborhood history, could be anybody who wants to come and learn about the area that they lived in, and who wants to learn how to organize in the community, and who wants to learn about public safety. Anybody
Well,
could
I have a
could come for
question.
that.
Organize over on the principles of what? Are they organizing on the principles of like immigration? What policies are these groups of people
Ain't no,
organizing around?
it's no policies. It's teaching people how to register a nonprofit business and how to organize within the community to build sustainable growth and have a positive impact. So
So how
we
did
teach
you
people how to
link
start
up with?
block associations, and we teach people how to start beautification committees.
So
How
wait a
did
minute.
you link up with these other ethnic groups to where this is your solid team? How did that happen?
Well, that happened because I do business, and when I do business, it's just like much of anything in my life where I'm 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 here to do business. I let everybody know what I'm trying to do, and whoever wants to do business with me, then that's who does business with me. I'm not running nobody
And American
down. I'm
Negroes
not.
at all, American Negroes at all didn't want to do business with
I mean, I've communicated and reached out to people. I don't know if these I don't know what's going on with these people's schedule, but yes, I've reached out to American Negro people, and I have not been getting any reply back. Like, I even came to Twitter and tried to reach out to a few people who said that they were doing stuff, and I said I wanted to collaborate them. I got on these stages, and they just